Who are these people kidding?
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Sunday, April 6, 2014. It's time for your Gitmo Nation Media Assassination episode 606.
This is No Agenda.
Preparing for my underwater audible event here in FEMA Region 6 of the Travis Heights Hideout in Austin, Texas. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from Northern Silicon Valley, where I'm a day older, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
That's right. And happy birthday to you.
And thank you very much. And thanks to everyone who wished me a happy birthday and all the people who tweeted a happy birthday and all the rest of it.
And did you get my my voicemail?
Yes, I did, as a matter of fact. I responded to it.
You did not. You didn't respond. I called you. You didn't call me back. That's not responding.
I sent you a text back. Said thanks.
Yeah, all right. Do you know that? So you celebrated yesterday, April 5th, which is coincidentally also the birthday of Satoshi Nakamoto, inventor of Bitcoin.
Interesting.
Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah, and you have such a negative stance on Bitcoin. I've always wondered about that.
Yes, a ploy.
It's working well.
Did you tweet, by the way?
Yes, I did. Did you retweet?
I'm in the process of doing that now.
So you sent out a newsletter to everybody, which was more like a personal email. And,
yeah, that's the one I do on Saturday.
Yeah, and you said I'm taking the day off. So what did you do on your birthday day off?
I didn't do anything different. I cooked. I watched some NCAA basketball.
Oh, wow, hot.
Yeah.
Hey, and did you get any Did you get any gifts?
I gardened.
You gardened?
I'm a green thumb.
Oh, what did you garden?
I had some weeds growing in the backyard.
I bet you do.
Need chopping down.
Uh-huh. Oh. Hey, and did you get any nice gifts?
I got a very interesting book from JC, and that was the sum total of all my gifts. Although I have to say that Jay always will make a piece of art or something for me, but I just haven't gotten it yet. She shipped it off.
Oh. She shipped it off late. Like one of those, oh crap, it's his birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, totally.
The older you get, the less people care, right? And even the kids are like, whatever.
Again.
And you don't even care, really.
Well, I'm not a big fan of the birthday. It's just like a reminder that you're getting old and you're going to drop dead eventually. And it just seems to me to be something you don't really want to celebrate. Yay, I'm older.
Yeah. Did you do anything for your 50th? Did you have a big one for that?
No.
Mickey's planning something for me.
Oh, a surprise party?
Well, not really, because I know it's being held in Amsterdam and I'm going.
Oh, right. I never got my invite.
Well, I don't think they've gone out yet.
Oh, okay.
But I guess there's no...
go to that. I may actually go.
I guess it's no surprise you're coming to my surprise party. And if you actually show up, that will be some surprise.
Yeah, I agree with that theory. It would surprise me.
You may actually even buy a ticket and still not go.
That happens.
I know.
Over the years, I should mention this with people who like to travel. You get tired of traveling, if you especially if you take a really early flight, like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. when you have to be at the airport at 6 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
You get it. You wake up and you calculate that number of hours of sleep you got and how miserable you're going to be. And if you're going to maybe fall asleep at the wheel on the way to the airport and kill yourself, you don't want that to happen.
Right.
And so you make a decision at the last minute. You say,
I don't think I'm going to go.
Unless it's a paid speech. That's different.
And even that has to be above a certain level.
Yeah, or someplace I'd really be interested.
You're a wise man, John C. Dvorak.
But Amsterdam, it's not like I haven't been to Amsterdam. Well, I'm sure it's changed a lot.
Yeah, not for the better.
Anyway, so happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. Very good. It was so besides it being Satoshi Nakamoto's birthday by coincidence, we've started a new week here. We have some presidential proclamations. Love to check those out because it's official. This is put into the Federal Register.
Right.
Okay, but we're going to do it differently. I'm going to give you the proclamation, and you're going to guess the week. This is a week. It's not a month. It's a special week.
I'm sorry. It's like a special week?
Yeah. The president says it's something week.
Okay. Right. You're going to tell me what the proclamation is. I have to guess what the week is.
Let's see if you can do it.
Okay.
Through countless acts of kindness, generosity, and service, Americans recognize that we are all bound together, that we move this country forward by giving of ourselves to others and caring for those around us. Every day, Americans carry forward the tradition of service embedded in our character as a people. And as we celebrate ... week...
S&M week.
Wow.
No, they had bound. It was bound. The binding. There was serving, and it's all S&M. This is S&M week.
BDSM week, I think, is what you're looking for.
Okay, BDSM week.
Well,
whatever.
no, I'm sorry. Oh, that's also wrong. National Volunteer Week.
Yeah. Same thing.
Very similar. So, by performing acts of service, you make a good point here. We can shape a nation big enough and bold enough to accommodate the kinkiness of all our people. It would fit right in, actually. We should have a National BDSM week. I like that. But the volunteers have to share this week. It's not just national.
People volunteer because there's nothing else to do nowadays.
Let's see.
I like the ones I was listening to some TV report. If you don't want to have a lousy work. They've discovered that people with the same skill sets, if they're out of work the longest, the one that's been working more recently was the one that gets hired 90% of the time. So they're advising people to take a bunch of volunteer jobs and put that on your resume.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Kind of like no agenda artist.
Yeah. You could say that you're a no agenda artist.
Yeah, it's valid.
We'll vouch for you.
It's valid. It's also National Crime Victims' Rights Week, as this year marks 30 years since the passage of the Victims of Crime Act and the Family Violence Prevention and Services Act, and 2 decades.
And that stopped. The great thing about that act is it stopped this sort of thing.
Yeah, it stopped it in its tracks.
No more violence.
And 2 decades since the Violence Against Women Act became law. Really? Has it only been 20 years since we aren't allowed to beat our women? That's kind
Unless you're Muslim. Okay, never mind.
Wow.
I'm sorry I said that. I don't want any letters.
Wow. All right. Nice.
Send your letters to Adam.
Well, they send everything else to me that's for you. Did you get that email that I sent you?
Yeah, I did. You were grousing about it.
Yeah. Every single time you say something, people send me an email.
And he sends this to me.
Do you know how many people sent me an email about your take on the SDR and the Federal Reserve and printing money? They're all bitching at me. I'm like, well, why are you doing this?
I think it's become a meme of the show. If I say something is either out of order or crazy or debatable, you get the email. I think that has become what people do because they figure you're going to, argue against me.
I don't like it.
That must be it. They think you're going to take up their, gauntlet and argue against me, in my opinion.
No, but they're doing it after the fact, after I've already argued a point with you, regardless of what comes out of it. Then they're like, yeah, man, John's full of it. I don't need to know that.
John's full of it.
Anyway, I am from the future, as you know, John.
Yes, I know. You've been bragging about this, I think, probably to more people than me.
No, only to my wife. I've not bragged about it to anybody, but no sooner had I said, watch out and look what happens with Malaysia, then bam, Anwar bin Ibrahim is everywhere. Everywhere. He is the opposition leader in Malaysia. And so you have a couple of clips here. Let me see. Here we go. This is, I think, on British TV. And this is kind of his story in a nutshell, but it's cool how he's saying the exact same thing everywhere and really riling everybody up.
They have the capability to detect all flight movements from south of Thailand to central Peninsular Malaya. And now if they tell us they are not able to do so, then I said, why are they not releasing the information? What have they seen from the radar data?
So do you think the government knows what...
Oh, I'm sorry. This must be the CNN.
What happened to the plane, to MH370?
I believe they know. There's no way for a Minister of Defense to say, we do not know the reading of the radar. Now, that is why we're directing the question specifically to him. We raise this question in Parliament. We ask for the setting up of a select committee to allow for thorough discussions for us to support the government efforts and initiative.
This actually goes a little further than I even expected. So he is not only in the opposition, he was the Minister of Defense. He purchased the radar that he's talking about when he was Minister of Defense. So he knows apparently how great it is. And now he's doing all kinds of parliamentary inquiry and stirring up quite the ruckus there in Malaysia.
But they have rejected. No kidding. We asked for a debate in Parliament. This was even rejected. So we can't have a parliamentary system without accountability.
Do you think it's just that they're covering up that they were incompetent, or do you think that they're covering up something more nefarious?
Now, my thesis was they're going to be called out as incompetent. But if I had really thought back to when I was living in the future, I would have known that it's going much further than that.
Initially, I thought it's just pure incompetence. But when they continue to conceal information, I have grounds to be more suspicious. And I have demanded this open public explanation and a release of this information.
And he has a little more, he has a few more arrows in his quiver for when the proverbial crapola hits the fan there.
And one of the theories out there is that the pilot deliberately did something to this plane. Obviously, you're familiar with that theory. But the theory that I'm talking about, the motive behind it is you. That you were removed from the political arena. He was a big supporter of yours, and that he brought this plane down in protest.
Wait for it.
Do you believe that could be true?
All right, millions of Malaysians disgusted that the manner the media has been orchestrated, the judiciary has been used by the government to punish opposition leaders. It's not me. There are 5-6 members of parliament in the row to be punished or imprisoned or to be denied their seat.
They're crazy over there in Malaysia, John. I think we should get rid of that government. They're no good.
People, and there's an issue of fraud in the elections, in the electoral process. We won 52% of the popular vote.
Fraud!
I mean, it's not a question of people having motive.
Now here comes a little nugget that I didn't know.
I mean, people are disgruntled. You take any cab or taxi in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, most of them are just disgusted with the government. But then they do not hijack taxis.
This logic, I love it. I love it. Hey, people are all pissed off in Malaysia, but they don't hijack their cabs. They don't hijack the bus. They don't do that.
And similarly, about the plane, I'm not denying the fact that I know him. He is a man who has strong passion for democracy, for rule of law.
We're talking about the pilot here.
Yeah. Now here's something I really didn't know about this pilot business.
Yeah, but the pilot, Zahari, the pilot, is true, and I've had discussions with him. He is also related to my daughter-in-law. I'm not denying this. I'm not
related to his daughter-in-law.
I think okay.
Doesn't get much better than that.
It's pretty funny.
So then we have this other shill who I've been tracking, Sarah Bajak. She's the actress that we identified, whose so-called partner is, and she has. I've looked at her Facebook page, and a lot of people are on this. By the way, there are people who have torn apart every single picture she has on her Facebook page, which of course only started the day the plane went down. And she's writing every post on her Facebook page as if she's writing to her so-called partner. In real time, like he's still alive. It's kind of creepy, actually. So she gets on with Aaron, and of course she's not as distraught as you'd think she would be, and she is now apparently in Malaysia.
You've been in my thoughts and our viewers' thoughts since you were on this program.
Yeah, and in my thoughts.
Just days ago. How are you doing now?
I've stabilized a little bit.
This is how you talk. I've stabilized, yes, from the MK Ultra programming, clearly. My God, this is great stuff. This is an unfolding Clancy novel.
I think the first couple of days were just excruciating. They just ripped me apart. And then, we had several weeks of misleads and misinformation that constantly changed. But in this last week, I think I've come to a realization that that for sure the flight is still intact and the passengers are still alive, because the sequence of information that we've been given actually all points to that. And that was the common theme at the meeting with the families.
Well, she's that's a good question, because she's in Malaysia and she's on Skype. And you can see out the back, at the back of her, there's a window, and it looks like a vast kind of wasteland. And those are the birds, which I guess are Malaysian birds.
Here's the deal. Mm-hmm. That's sweetened. This is an upbeat belief. She's like believing in this fairy tale or not fairy tale or whatever scripted, and they put these birds in there to make you feel better.
Could be. Well, but I think the Skype stuff is pretty credible.
These birds sound like they're in the room.
They may be. There may be a recording of birds in the room, but it's not.
I find it a little weird. Okay, go on.
You think that's weird? Listen to this little factoid, which we don't understand or know about her.
You were at that briefing for the family members in Kuala Lumpur. Did you get any new information or anything to answer your questions?
We didn't. The only thing that they did is rehash all of the same evidence that they have been providing up until now, with the same interpretation. So they have a single path of pursuit, which is that there has been a crash. That's the only thing they seem to be exploring. And they completely and utterly avoid any of the questions that have been brought to the table about the obvious holes in their story. So I never actually went to any of the family briefings in China. I steered clear of them for many obvious reasons.
Hello, Aaron. What are the obvious reasons she wouldn't go to China?
Yeah.
What are the many obvious reasons? And Bernard.
Well, Aaron's a good journalist. She'll hone right in on that.
Let me just check. Let me roll it back and let's make sure that she jumps right in that.
Clear of them for many obvious reasons. But this one here in Malaysia was very...
I think in between the birds, I heard some crickets there all of a sudden.
Very interesting. The Malaysians are taking a much more logical, much more calm approach. There were several representatives from families who just kept asking the same questions.
And the China thing is weird, because all of a sudden there was this new memo apparently that came out on CNN, which I saw later in the day.
Dare I say, it's the Chinese. And haven't we had conversations thus far in the process about their purported lack of sharing satellite imagery? And when they did share satellite imagery, it seemed that the image that they shared was doctored, was blurry. Also, it would be just 2 hours prior to this news breaking that the Malaysians would have had a press conference, which I watched in my hotel room. They didn't say anything about this. At a minimum, it points to dysfunction in terms of the sharing of information. And I've been told repeatedly by all the experts that the depth of the ocean poses challenges. And in order to find the pinger, you'd have to be right on top of it. I guess the response to my own skepticism is to say maybe the Chinese had this information all along and weren't sharing it.
This messed me up a little bit. Like, well, hold on a second. We're supposed to be messing with the Malaysians, not the Chinese. But then, of course, this is because...
it's a twofer.
Well, you see, I think here's what happened. The Chinese come out, and it was on their Xinhua news website. And they say, we've discovered a pulse signal. Now, really the way that the headlines carried, the Xinhua news site was pretty clear. It's like, there's nothing for sure. We've got an audible event underwater. We don't really know what it is, but the Chinese put that out there. And I think they're trying to horn in on I guess, our action of screwing the Malaysians. Of course, they want to distract from it. I mean, the whole thing is a mess now, John. It's a mess. I think we've got this crazy actress.
Well, we come up with a scenario and then declare it a mess.
Well,
now this phony woman.
She's got more beauties, by the way.
There's more good-looking women that Aaron brings on?
No. She's got more.
More gems.
Yeah. Here's the last gem. I'll skip a couple. It's all great.
But I refuse to believe that the Malaysian military ignored a 777 in their airspace. There was one of the family members, a young gentleman, who pushed forward an idea that he had notice from people he knew.
From his handler.
That the jet had actually been accompanied by fighter planes for some period of time. And there was some witness to that.
Yeah. And this is the woman who...
wow.
Exactly, wow.
I think that's the gem.
So... For sure.
Where would you get this information? And what? Yeah, no, this is spooky.
Well, here's a spooky bit from a CNN correspondent in Australia.
The Malaysian government said 17 countries, Jeffrey, in the area have come forward to say that they haven't found the plane, but not Indonesia. Is it significant that we haven't heard from Indonesia?
Indonesia, of course, is also partially in control of the Malacca Strait. They're on the eastern side of the Malacca Strait, all the way up,
or the southeastern, south.
Well, yeah. They got southeastern, and
southwestern. Actually, if you think about it,
depends on which way you're looking at it.
Right, it's true.
Yeah, depends on where you live.
From their perspective, it's on their
true.
East coast.
Yeah, okay. From there. Okay.
From Indonesia.
That's a very, very interesting question, and I've asked the question of our officials, even off the record, and they simply say to me, I can't even talk about it. And these are folks that I know really, really well, and they usually give me stuff off the record, but this time, no comment, we can't talk about it. So there's some real sensitivities going on here, and I have to say, at the same time, I've also asked about the Australian Jindalee over-the-horizon radar. Why didn't we pick it up? Again, I get... we can't discuss it.
Woohoo!
Well, now that's spooky, yeah. But we can't discuss it. It means a couple of things. One, they know something, and they can't discuss it because
that's implied, obviously, with this.
It's classified.
Yeah.
And the other one is they don't know anything, and they don't want to embarrass themselves. Or they've got gear that's supposed to do this and that, and it can't do crap. It's just a waste of the taxpayers' money. Well, that would be another reason not to discuss it.
Yeah, that would be the most logical, I guess, Occam's razor. But we know these systems; these radar systems are good, and if anything's flying around, certainly if it is not identifying itself with a pinger, with a transponder.
Yeah, and it's the size of a 757, which is huge.
Yeah, you're gonna get an escort for sure, and not the cool kind, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Of course. We actually know nothing still, but it is interesting to see that, again, the focus is on the Malaysian government. We have our key guy, and remember, we had a producer, the day this jet went missing, one of our producers said, hey, just so you know, there's all kinds of stuff going on here, and that was the same day that Anwar bin... what's his name again? Anwar bin Ibrahim... his conviction was overturned, and he's out on appeal, but he has to go back to jail for 5 years, and he's in the opposition of the government. And our producer said, hey, there is other stuff going on here. I don't know if it's related, and we followed up on it, and here we are. We've seen nothing but the Malaysian government be under severe duress from the entire world for screwing around and screwing this up. But I think it's taken too long. Something was supposed to happen. I think it looks like it's a bit out of control now.
It's possible because the scenarios, it has stretched out over a month or about a month because the pinger's about to drop dead after a month. And there's something you're right. I think something's missing from the puzzle, and somebody failed to do something that was going to wrap it up.
Bob was supposed to do something. And,
where'd Bob go? He was drunk.
He was in Amsterdam with the Secret Service guys.
He was drunk.
Oh, crap, that Bob.
Who hired him? Now what are we going to do? I don't know.
Well, and it's pretty phenomenal that CNN has really been running this for a month now. A month.
Yeah, I know. I think that you think the public, the American public especially, would get sick of it.
Nah.
I don't know what the overnights are, but I doubt that the ratings have gone up.
I could find out.
They got to be drifting back to normal, which is like nobody watching.
No. I think you're wrong. John, this is like those trials that they run on, on Court TV, or what used to be Court TV, HLN, and all that. CNN ratings. Let me get the latest for you. Let's see. CNN has great news and lousy news at the end of the month. That's Huffington Post. We don't want to even look at that. Here's my ratings site. Hold on a second. We'll take a look at what did phenomenally well. The number one show on cable, I think of all the news shows, was the new Maria Bartiromo Fox News show on Sunday. That thing is knocking it out of the park.
Well, Fox is better at marketing.
Well, also, she's hot. She's this is...
she's the one that Aaron bumped out of the picture at CNBC and moved her around some other slots, and I don't think the two of them get along. She'd probably love to go up head-to-head with Aaron.
Okay, let's see. We have total for the day. This is April 3rd, so this is Thursday. Fox News in the demo. Let's see, total. Actually, Fox had 1 million. This is during the day. CNN 432,000. That's about double what they normally have. Let's look at prime time. And in prime time, we have O'Reilly Factor 2.7 million. That's Fox, and Anderson Cooper 671,000, which is again, it's still double. It's not doubling again for sure. The people losing. Well, actually, let's see. Rachel Maddow.
Can you go back a week when this thing was a little fresher?
Yeah, I think so. Hold on. That would be, what would that be? The 27th?
Yeah, it's good enough.
Let's see if I can do one day earlier. Okay, for the ratings for March 25th. And that is, okay, that's Tuesday. CNN had about 50,000 less, so it's actually gone up a bit. But in prime time, it's also gone up. It's unbelievable, but it's gone up.
It's climbing.
It is absolutely climbing.
CNN's actually the one who brought the plane down. Good move, boys.
Yeah, all right, Jeff Zucker. It's unbelievable.
Well, that means they're going to stay with this programming until...
until Anderson Cooper's head explodes.
He had just as I have a clip that is not off this topic, and I'm assuming you're done with this.
Yeah, I'm done. What else do you want to say? I mean, other than...
we just keep following it. Yeah. If at some point you will have it all figured out 2 or 3 different ways.
The thesis is, though, this is to mess with the Malaysian government. Yeah, it's a pre-rubberization plan for the Malaysian government.
To screw with the Chinese.
Something like that.
Who may be, the reason they may be so reticent in all the stuff that's been going on with them is because they know this is going on, and they're trying to find ways to counteract it. Could be.
Yeah, but they're kind of playing right into...
obvious reason you don't want to talk to the Chinese.
But they're kind of playing into everybody's hands by pointing them to, off the coast of Australia there again.
Well,
we don't know. We just don't.
We don't know. They may have some...
We don't care about the plane.
Some sinister scheme.
We don't care about the plane. We're just watching the rubble.
So I have this clip. This is a kind of, I hate to start the show off with a clip like this, but this is kind of one of the typical stories we have locally. And this is a Chinese girl who went to high school, and then she got sick, and she had to stay out of school for a couple of years for some illness. They never say what it is or ask. And she went back to school, but they wouldn't put her back in high school. She went to a adult school, got her degree or GED, whatever it is, the
GED.
fake high school GED, and then went right to Columbia. And now she's in the Hall of Fame, apparently, locally. And you have to hear this thing, but she is she's crying. Now, this is the reason I want to play this clip now is because it's in contrast to that woman who is so cold-blooded, it seems.
Yeah, whose boyfriend / partner, who she was moving to Malaysia, he's been gone for a month, and she's just she's all into conspiracy theories.
Yeah, she's happy with it. Now, this girl, this is, I consider to be one of the most maudlin, disgusting kinds of things that we get in the Bay Area for report, good news or whatever. And this girl is just crying every time they interview her. So how are you today?
Now, a Barrie woman thought her dreams were in jeopardy when she got so sick she had to drop out of high school. But now she's achieved something no one else has. Last night, she was among the more than 60 people who graduated from the Castro Valley Adult School. And she's being recognized not just for what she's achieved, but also for where she's headed. Seelin Wong says she loved high school. She was a 4.0 student, played flute and tennis, and dreamed of college. And then, at the start of her junior year, she got sick.
I was ill with stomach aches, headaches, and dizziness and sensitivity to light.
It was so bad, she dropped out of school. By the time she recovered 2 years later, she was 19 and too old to go back. Since she couldn't go back to San Leandro High School, she came here to the Castro Valley Adult School. She wanted her GED, but she didn't realize that coming here would open up the door to so much more.
I remember going there crying the first day. I was like, how did I even end up here?
But the staff told her she had options and she could have her dream. You wanted to go to college?
Yeah.
How badly? So badly, it looks like.
Very badly.
She completed 2 years of classes in just 11 months and then reached for what she once thought was impossible. Then one day last fall, her mom called to tell her a package had arrived.
When I opened it, they're like, oh my God, it was actually Columbia University.
Seelin is the first person to ever graduate from Castro Valley Adult School and go straight to an Ivy League school. The 20-year-old has since spoken in Sacramento about the importance of adult education and last weekend was inducted into the Alameda County Women's Hall of Fame.
And what's the point, though?
She went. Well, the point of the story? Well, I have no idea. I think it's to promote adult education.
That's what it sounded like. Or women.
But wait, let me get this straight. This is the standards we now have in this country. And by the way, there's a follow-up clip because this was just a crap report, but the standards in this country. She went to an adult school to get her GED, and then she went to college. Bingo! Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Well,
are you kidding me?
That's all. Yeah, with a GED, you can do wonders.
So it promotes they're promoting it, but meanwhile, I want you to listen to this shorter follow-up clip, which is the end of this report, and I want you to carefully listen to the dialogue between the anchors.
Her accomplishment brings her family to tears.
It's really big in my family because I'm the first one who goes straight to a 4-year.
The road ahead may not be easy. She still needs scholarships and knows things will be hard for her family when she's gone. But she also knows what it's like to face challenges and thrive.
I just felt like out of place at that moment. Sorry.
You feel like you found your place now?
Yeah, a better place as well.
And the best is yet to come.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, congratulations to her. Really a great story and a remarkable young lady who she wants to make the Castro Valley Adult School a part of her message too in terms of an inspiration and how many people did that. And certainly congratulations to all the other graduates because really a great achievement.
Great story. You did a great job on it too.
Oh, thank you.
Times 9:49. Rosemary does a great job. She has created a Saturday forecast that will drive you out of its mind.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Rosemary. And look at her.
Drive you out of its mind.
And look at
her.
What
is wrong with these people?
And look at Rosemary's tits.
By the way, Adam.
Yes.
You did a great job earlier.
You know, I love that story, John. I just love her.
I appreciate that.
I love, you did a great job clipping that.
You do a great job. In fact, you do a great job.
Let me tell you something. So let me tell you something, John. This is something's going on with our news anchors. Here is I can't even do that. It's so phony baloney. Oh, sickening. So Hillary Clinton and Christine Lagarde, the chief of the
duo.
Yeah, she's the chief of the IMF, International Monetary Fund. They were both at this Women in the World conference. And someone pointed us to a clip, and there's a website. It's put on by who's the woman from the Beast, the Daily Beast, famous editor.
Ariana.
No, no.
Oh, the Daily Beast. What's her name? The woman that used to be at Vanity Fair.
Yes, the really famous one.
Brown. I
Tina
think.
Tina Brown. Right. She's very famous and huge,
famous.
Huge advocate of women. And so they put on this. And by the way, if there was a Men in the World conference, it would be shut down by protest.
It would.
I mean, it's okay because I understand that women feel that they've had this incredibly raw deal, which, hey, it was only 2 decades ago we could still beat our women until we got a law against it. So,
yeah,
that's fact. Those days are nice one, John. But, it's going a little far when you have these 2 women on stage, and there's Tom Friedman of the New York Times, and he's been hired to interview them, but there's only a few clips, which is really, they don't have the whole interview, which I'd love to see, and I can't find it anywhere. If anyone can find the whole thing of Hillary and Christine Lagarde, please send it to me. Hillary, by the way, looks dynamite. Her
work is done, I guess.
Her work, well, it's all healed. The temporary bruising is gone. The swelling's down. And I want to reiterate to everybody that we knew this was going to happen. She had her work done. Her eyes look fantastic. The whole neck thing, she's not masking with a scarf or anything. It looks really good. No waddly.
Neck job, good for her.
The hair, Pierre styled it, and Christine Lagarde.
Were they in Paris?
No, it was New York, I think.
Oh, she must have a New York guy too.
Yeah, well, she flies the Paris guy in.
That could be.
And Christine Lagarde always looks together. She's also 6 feet tall. She always looks, and her hair she's got her look down, man. It's great. So they're both sitting
she
there.
always looks like her.
Yeah. And so this, of course, is a powerhouse of women. And Friedman, what a comedian. So what he says is interesting, but also there's a little gotcha here in what the two CBS News, including Gail, Oprah's bestie, who now wears spectacles, makes her look very newsy, very intelligent. I can just see her going, Ope, do these glasses make me look smarter?
And by the way, you should take it. There's a Larry David show that came out once, and he had this black sidekick on his later episodes. Mm-hmm. And they came up with this theory that if a black person wears glasses, everybody always defers to them as being extremely intelligent. And so they did the whole show around this thing.
Yeah,
and
I believe it.
We've been watching, and you see a black person with glasses on, and people defer to them.
But I also feel like she got smarter.
Well, it's the glasses.
Now, but I also want to say that, I obviously still pray, but I really do. I really, really do. And whatever God is listening, or whoever, Allah, Muhammad, whoever's up there listening, please make Hillary Clinton our president. She is uniquely qualified to run the empire. And Thomas Friedman, he is my Lord. He comes down, he gives me not just one, but two.
Clinton spoke at the annual Women in the World Summit in New York, along with IMF chief Christine Lagarde. One of the highlights, their reaction when moderator Thomas Friedman of the New York Times suggested that Lagarde would one day lead the European Union and Clinton could become president of the United States.
Would my life be even more fulfilled if Lagarde was the president of the European Union and Hillary Clinton was president of the United States?
Those poor trod upon women.
I would convert.
To a woman? You'd be a woman?
Yes.
President of the European Commission, which would be very interesting if the president of Europe and the president
It was interesting to see that reaction about women ruling the world.
What did she just say? This is the thinking. This is the thinking that's going on. And I'm calling this woman out on it.
It was interesting to see that reaction about women ruling the world, the two of them together.
Yeah.
It was a great moment to see two powerhouse women, I think, is always very exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting to see two powerhouse women, Gail. Yeah, we know how you get turned on by it, particularly Hillary and Christine. Powerhouse women ruling the world. Women of the world. Women who are listening to the show. Gentlemen, please stop this. Right? If your partner is a woman and she's not listening right now, stop it and make her listen. This will happen. I really feel that this can happen. Christine Lagarde, she's like, hell yeah. I mean, mère de oui. And after the 4 or 8 years, we'll have another conversation and see if it really was all that great.
I was fascinated, too, by listening to Hillary Clinton almost begin to lay out the rationale for a presidential campaign last night, which is the need to stress compromise.
And talking with people you disagree with.
Talking with people you disagree with. And number 2, fact-based and evidence-based decision-making.
Fact-based.
Global warming.
Oh, yeah. Fact-based and evidence-based decision-making, which
Yeah, global warming, that was one, and the other one was the same promise, by the way, Obama made. We had to believe in compromise. And then they get in, there's no compromise.
But this, no. There's an undertone here, which is very, and Charlie Rose is sitting there like a eunuch. Because essentially what these two women are saying as they're talking to each other is women do things based on facts. And not, like men who do it with their penis.
People you disagree with.
Talking with people you disagree with.
And talking to people you disagree. Yeah, because women are so good at that. Yeah.
It's always very exciting.
I was fascinated, too, by listening to Hillary Clinton almost begin to lay out the rationale for a presidential campaign last night, which is the need to stress compromise.
And talking with people you disagree with.
Talking with people
you disagree. She's like, this is what we do. Talking to people you disagree with.
And number 2, fact-based and evidence-based decision-making.
Isn't that number 3?
What?
She says number 2. That's number 3.
Well, I still want to do this.
Hillary! Facts. On the best podcast in the universe.
That is the land of unconfirmed radio.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
Which in this era of hyper-partisanship, I think is going to be an argument that she weaves into a potential presidential run.
Yeah, people are waiting for her to sort of lay out a narrative of what she would do if she was president.
That's right.
Exactly.
And she has a new book coming out, so we can read all about it, what Hillary Clinton's thinking. I can't wait.
What Hillary Clinton's is thinking all about. Hey, Charlie Rose, thanks, man.
Tell me about this sexuality. It's in your DNA.
That's all he can say.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. Where's my drink?
Hey, it's time. Please, we need a woman. Because we really need to equalize this. We really do. To show that you're not better than us. You're just as bad. That's my point.
It's the system that runs things.
Yeah. This belief, I will say that Miss Mickey always says sometimes you can get people all riled up and they can really believe something and then it can really change things. But that's kind of what we thought with Obama. It didn't really happen.
Just the opposite.
Yeah.
In fact, I have an Obama clip.
Now, before you get to that, let's just finish up the Hillary stuff. So. The report came out from the Inspector General regarding the State Department, and this is during the past 6 years, which pretty much Hillary was running the show, and it appears that $6 billion that it spent paying contractors. There's $6 billion of the money they paid to the contractors is unaccounted for.
Huh. Under Hillary's watch.
Yes. And I have the report in the show notes, which is 606.nashownotes.com or noagendanotes.com. And it's damning, but at the same time, when you read the report, it's really a memo. It's not even a report. And this is the thing that I think everyone's overlooking. It's a 6-pager. Oh, yeah, and there's 8 pages. This is $6 billion we can't find, and there's one guy who got $25 million. His wife was the main worker under the subcontractor, and we recommend that you keep the receipts. It's literally like that, like $6 billion. It's very cavalier. Seriously, that's kind of the advice. And then this happened over the weekend.
Hillary Clinton canceled her upcoming visit to San Diego. She was going to be greeted by a group of protesters who refused to change their plans.
She frankly is not welcome here in San Diego by so many of us, and we don't want her.
Joan Iverson from The Difference Matters is behind the plans to protest Mrs. Clinton's quest for presidency because of her role in Benghazi.
People of the United States, Hillary doesn't give a damn about you.
Do you remember who that one is? That's the mother of Sean, one of the three who were killed in Benghazi. The one who said, Hillary and Barack Obama, and everyone was like, we'll take care of you. We're going to get to the bottom of this.
And they were all cold with their hugs and the whole thing.
Exactly.
Pat Smith lost her son Sean in Benghazi. She'll be at the center of the demonstration.
To have her there is very gratifying, and it spurs us on to what we are doing.
Mrs. Clinton is the keynote speaker at the Western Healthcare Leadership Academy, a 4-day event being held at the conference center in a week.
The protest has nothing to do with us.
So far, some 700 people are attending the conference. They'll see Mrs. Clinton via satellite instead of on stage.
Now,
that's pretty lame.
Well, she doesn't want to have shots of her with protesters of mothers of dead children. It's a political decision you make.
Yes, she was the right one. This Morell guy came into the conversation again, and we didn't play the clip, but there was a discussion. We didn't play the clip because it wasn't playable, really, but a discussion. Morell's the CIA guy that had something to do with Benghazi, and he was working with Clinton in some way or another, and it's believed by some people that he's going to be the Secretary of State if Clinton becomes president. So he had to give testimony before Congress, said nothing. A bunch of stories came out saying how he was all slammed by people who were on the ground and all the rest of it. And he ends up the next day after he goes in front of Congress, which I haven't quite dissected the whole testimony yet, but he went to Charlie Rose the next day. That's how the bookers work. And so he goes on the Charlie Rose show, and if you listen to this is Morell 1 and 2. If you listen to this, it's as though he's trying to they're literally writing a script together, and Rose is like coaching him. He's coaching Rose about what to say, and it's like more like we're overhearing a meeting behind a closed doors.
It's like a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Tried to rally people and
to create a protest that they could take advantage of?
I think to attack the State Department facility. Right. That was their plan. Let's get inside, let's cause some trouble just like our brothers in Cairo did. Right. I think that's what
they were Al-Qaeda affiliates.
Yeah, but Rose does this. Remember when he was talking with I think it was with the president. And he was doing the same thing. He's basically how about, try this angle. That was pretty much like that was. Remember when this was happening?
This is what Rose does. It's funny to watch or listen.
For Al-Qaeda.
I'd be careful here. I'd say they're
scratch that. Hold on. Let's just get the pen. Just move that. Can you change that on prompter for me? Yeah, I'd be careful here. Yeah.
I'd be careful here. I'd say they are definitely extremists.
Right.
They are definitely Al-Qaeda ideology, and we know from intelligence that some of them were Al-Qaeda affiliates, but not the whole group. So that's the first attack, right? I think that's how the first attack happened.
Yeah, his people were in there. That's why it wasn't the whole group.
Yeah. Happens, I think, with these extremists following back to our base the people who leave the State Department facility. And along the way, they pick up some additional heavy weapons, and it's some of the more hardcore guys that do the following, and that's why that is more of a military style assault. And then you have that gap in time where I think they were driven away by our officers at our facility the first time, and I think they said to themselves, let's go get some heavier weapons, let's go get something that can really make a difference, and they came back with mortars, and those mortars did make a difference. I think it was played out that way.
Wow, what's this I think business?
Yeah. Isn't that great?
Didn't anyone have like a report of what actually happened, or this is just his Wasn't he writing a book,
if you watched
too?
This whole thing, you would be so annoyed.
And this is just recent?
Yeah, it was just like a couple of days ago.
Oh, crap.
It was the day after his testimony before Congress.
Oh, I missed it. Oh, crappy. Okay.
Part 2.
All right.
There is what this chief of station in Tripoli said. What did he say?
So let me walk.
Oh, wait, stop. You got to start that over. I got to set this up. This was throughout the interview, there was this sort of thing. Charlie stammers, what, and then he's asked a different question, which makes you wonder what he was going to say. He stammers, asked a direct question, and this is how the guy answers it. He circumlocutes the answer in such a way he never answers the question right in front of Charlie, right in front of the audience, and nobody notices.
So do we have the question? We have Charlie's question?
Yeah, it's right here. Yeah, so what does the station chief say?
Tell me about this sexuality. It's in your DNA. There is what the chief of station in Tripoli said. What did he say?
So let me walk through the timeline here. Okay. The timeline's very, very important.
Yeah, because we made it up.
So on the 12th of September, which is the day after the night of the attack, we collect some information. And that information includes press reports and some intelligence that says there was a protest ongoing outside the State Department facility at the time of the attack.
Yeah, and did Charlie follow up and say, yeah, but what did he say?
No, the guy just kept rambling and went on and on and on. And I'll tell you, to summarize, the guy said there was no protest. This is bull crap. These reports are planted. The news reports, which the CIA now apparently uses as actual intelligence, which is what the Morell says. Oh, we saw some news reports of this, so it must be true. And so the guy that's there, the CIA guy, says, no, it's not true. It's bullcrap. And then he goes on and explains how they actually took that information and gave it to the analysts who have the final say. And he gave the guy, boots on the ground guys, information to the analysts. They said, it's bullcrap. We're going to go with this other idea, which doesn't make any sense either. So this whole thing was I mean, you could stakes to high heaven, and listening to this guy and Charlie Rose on the show makes it worse.
If you, I'm going to tell people our original thesis about that, and you're going to turn your mic down just a CH to get a DB.
A dog biscuit?
Yeah, just a little bit, because when you get excited, then you're clipping.
Okay, I'm down.
Yeah. All right. You down? Are you down, boy? All right, good.
I get excited. I was so excited.
Well, you're a little excited there, and it's just this.
Yeah, it's because it's just like you listen to this stuff and you go, "What? Who are these people kidding?"
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's annoying. Our entire thesis was this was an October surprise,
right?
And we have word from Tunisia about this too.
Yep.
In fact, it's interesting in light of that, but. So we had information that Tunisian guys were sent in and they were supposed to kidnap the ambassador. The ambassador, I think, probably knew about this.
That's why it wasn't all Al-Qaeda.
Right. And then we were going to have this miraculous recovery just before the election, and they were kind of locking the results for the president.
To go back, because people say, well, why would they do that? Let's go back, and I have my point in this thesis is that you have to remember that the news media, to make sure that the advertising revenue continued to flow in, kept it artificially a close race to make it look as though Romney could possibly win, and all these pollsters, the one guy who was right was an idiot. Everybody else had it as a close race, and Obama could possibly lose. Yeah, and so they had to do this.
If it's not a close race, then there's no money flowing to the news media. This is their every 4 years is when they make their money.
Every 2 years, and by the way, and we pointed this out on one of the shows, it's actually stated as such in the CBS annual report.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
So interestingly, President Obama and Prime Minister Yoma reaffirmed the strategic partnership between the United States and Tunisia earlier this week. They discussed the historic progress made in Tunisia as political and civil society leaders have worked together to advance Tunisia's democratic transition and secure a more peaceful and prosperous future for Tunisia. The two leaders also emphasized their commitment to advancing our shared interest in a secure, stable, and prosperous Maghreb. There should be some money there. Hey, man, thanks.
I have... My clip which is called "Tunisia is Screwed." I think has something to do with this.
Oh, okay. Oh, I like that.
Barack Obama met with Tunisia's prime minister at the White House on Friday. The U.S. president praised Tunisia as the poster child of the Arab Spring, showing progress compared to other nations in the region. Tunisia's Mehdi Joma walked away with $500 million in loan guarantees and told President Obama his country was on the cusp of a new economic transition.
Silly fool. If the guy hadn't died, it wouldn't have been $1 billion, you idiot. And you only gave him half.
Well, of course, they're going to owe us, so they're screwed somehow.
Hey, we're moving along way too fast here. I need to thank you for your courage. And say in the morning to you, John C. Dvorak.
Well, Adam Curry, in the morning to you, and in the morning to all ships at sea, boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, and all the dames and all the knights out there.
And our artist, Martin JJ, does it again. Thank you, Martin JJ, coming in with the album art for episode 605. It's like Martin JJ, Nick the Rat, fighting it out. Come on, people.
Well, there's Thorin and this other guys in there, too.
I know, but it's Martin JJ and Nick the Rat should get an apartment together.
And toys.
And what? Oh, toys.
Toys.
NoAgendaArtGenerator.com is where you can find all of the art and submit your own. We really appreciate the work that our artists do. And, of course, in the morning to all of our human resources in the chat room, NoAgendaStream.com, as we stream the show live twice a week, NoAgendaChat.net. And, of course, none of this could be discussed the way we discuss it because we'd be, living next door to the Mozilla CEO.
He got fired.
Yeah. Well, he resigned.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. We'd be living next door to him if we weren't running this.
Hounded out of office by political correctness.
That's right.
That's what happens.
Yeah. And so the way we run our show is we live and die by the sword of our producers who make the show with us. They help us with information, a lot of experts, and they also support us financially. And that's the only way we make any money. No hidden agenda here when it comes to the advertising.
And boy, no advertising.
There's no advertising, no underwriting, no sponsorship, no nothing.
Yeah, so we can say what we want. We can embarrass ourselves. We can come up with theses that would never be said in the mainstream media. We can make snide remarks.
Mm-hmm.
We can do anything we want without having to worry about a suit coming in and telling us to calm down.
Or having people going after our advertisers.
Yeah.
That is how, if we had advertising, that's how it would happen. Yeah, we'd have people like, hey, man, let's go for the advertising.
You're advertising with them?
Yeah. Hey, GoDaddy.
I'm not buying your stuff anymore. We're going to boycott.
That's right. Well, that's before, I need to mention this. I didn't know that this Gay Inc., that's what it's called apparently.
Inc., N-I-N-K?
I-N-C, Gay Inc., Gay Incorporated. This is not the first time that this has actually happened with a dating website. Did you know that eHarmony, here, I got this, someone pointed me to this news story. eHarmony was being sued because, eHarmony is kind of the Christian dating website, and, of course, they didn't have any...
Christian Mingle?
No, no, it's not Christian Mingle. But eHarmony is, they only want you, they really only want you to get together to get married, and they've got a whole bunch of things like that. But let me find out, where is this? This guy said that he got sued by Gay Inc., and he literally had to start a gay version of their dating website, which I didn't know that they had done. Because otherwise, they would never be allowed to work in New Jersey. Here it is. What was that thing called? It was called...
Well, these guys are like the old Rainbow Coalition.
Yeah. It's like Sharpton and what's the other
Sharpton,
guy?
Same thing.
It's pressure. Here, Compatible Partners. His company launched a separate gay and lesbian dating website called Compatible Partners in response to a lawsuit filed against eHarmony in 2008 for not offering LGBT matchmaking. You're not fair. You can't, if you're gay, you can't use your service.
Start your own service. Forcing somebody to do something that they're not doing. It's not their business model.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, but this is the pressure that you're under. I'm telling you, if these guys want global warming, if they want global warming to catch a spark, you just got to find some research that says global warming is killing gay people, and you're good to go. Everyone will be, oh, well, now we have to turn off the lights, honey.
Turn off the lights. Well, here we go. Let's thank a few of our producers.
Please.
For helping us on show 606, including AJ Reistad, who came in with $606 in kind of a reverse to get credit for show 600, and now he's here. And this says 686, which means either there's a typo or there was another $80 in there. But let me read his note that he sent in, and I've saved it. I saved and did not lose the note, and I put a
good work because everyone was
to the wall.
Everyone was pretty afraid you were going to mess that one up.
Sir A.J. Rice, a baronet of the Treasure Valley, Caldwell, Idaho here. Enclosed are 6 Bennies, an Abe and a George. He sent in cash, which I have to just deposit as a cash deposit, for executive producer of show 600 Club, episode 606 and 606 Club. Thanks for the special accommodations. And yeah, that's why I think the 86 is just a typo.
Okay.
Thanks for the special accommodation and granting credits for episode 606. Of course, a reminder email will be sent to all parties prior to show 606, which he did. Simple Pelosi, jobs karma to all my fellow human resources.
Okay. Do you want that now?
No, it's to finish. Thanks for the awesome work that both of you are doing with the, as he wants this, the best in the universe.
Are we good?
And he did mention that the note was printed on actual red book paper. He could have written by hand, but he didn't want to be cruel to John. Okay.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
And
my lords, dames, knights, slaves, and elites, please be upstanding for another donation from the Grand Duke von Pelsmakers.
Well, I see Stephen Pelsmakers, our Grand Duke of Belgium and France, came in with $620, which is my 62nd birthday times 10.
Nice.
Which was very nice.
Yeah, which means he thinks your age might be times 10, I guess.
ITM, gentlemen, this is a special happy birthday donation for Jam. Some karma, please, and geluktige verjaardag aan Nagvella Luca Jaren.
Fantastic, John. Have you been practicing your Dutch while I wasn't looking? Wow, you really butchered it. I'll do it. Gelukkige verjaardag en nog vele leuke jaren.
Same thing.
Yeah, kind of.
Hit it.
You've got karma.
That's very kind. He's already done so much for us and just continues.
Yeah, and then we have a founding executive producer thing. This will be the last time we do this, by the way. Richard Henderson, $350 in Scandinavia, as in British Columbia. Spuzzum, I believe. In the morning, gents, I apologize for the long note. Greetings from BC, the land of washed-up feet, stinky hippies, expensive gas, and bad drivers. Apparently needs to move. Mm-hmm. It's been far too long since I've donated. I stopped listening for about a year, but picked it up back again a few months back, and then I have found that even though the shows are usually far too long to get me through in time, the political analysis has been unbelievable. Outstanding is the word he says. Attaches my $350, which I hope will earn me as executive producer credit. Indeed,
it does.
And half of my donation entered the 700 Club, which I think should be called the Pat Robertson Memorial Club. Sure, he's not dead yet, but that old coot is probably one banana peel away from slipping into the grave. The last couple of weeks have been incredible for me karma-wise, and while I don't want to say the show played a part in it, I can't discount it. Work has been going incredibly well. The lady I found a coding error with an airline allowing us to fly to Europe this summer in business class for far less than an economy ticket. And after a full year of searching for another slave to work for me, I finally found the perfect candidate. Add to that, I won a special VIP entry to run my first marathon in the New York Marathon to boot, and something's going right. Here's hoping the FBI finds some other event to brainwash an ethnic-looking stooge to bomb. I wanted to combine a bunch of different donations, but I thought that one half of the 700 Club would be a good way to kick off the new fountain of donations. I've also discovered that listening to the show while running has allowed me to improve my speed and distance instead of my brain telling myself I can't do it or that I'm an absolute moron for running when I have perfectly good cardio. But I listened to Adam blab about something and John ignore him. I'm guessing he's busy playing Angry Birds or clipping his toenails.
Okay.
Not quite sure what he's talking about.
I think it was Candy Crush.
I don't, I've never even seen that game, let alone played it.
Me neither.
All right. Anyway, I want to thank him for the $350. Now we got the Evil Kraut Brothers of 89th and Bluegrass in Longmont, Colorado, 33334. And Heil, everybody. The evil Kraut brothers are making this donation to ensure liberty, crazy speech, perky breast, and bad science. This donation puts us over the top for our double knighthood. Adam, please give your patented shout out to Eleanor.
Oh. He's a constitutional lawyer.
Is that you or is that the tape?
That was me.
Huh.
You want to
do it on command?
Yeah. Well, okay.
Let's do a comparison. Okay. Play the tape.
Right. Well, I'll do it again, and then I'll play the tape. He's a constitutional lawyer.
He's a constitutional lawyer.
Yeah, pretty good.
I like the fresher sound of the live version.
The live, it's fresher. Yeah,
it sounds fresher.
Yeah, all right. Hey, thanks, guys. Evil Kraut Brothers. We got our own Koch brothers called the Kraut Brothers. 89th and Bluegrass.
Matthew McNulty in Chicago, Illinois, 33333. Dear John and Adam, Thursday's show was so good that I don't feel this contribution satisfies my end of our value for value relationship bargain. What can I say? I'm just living a mac and cheese life here in the eye of the polar vortex, and times are tough. That being said, it feels great to donate. And where else could I get 6 hours of intense psychotherapy twice a week for this cheap? Can I please get a 33 as the magic number, followed by some general karma for everyone who's lost a friend or family member in recent past? It's been a bad couple of years in the casualties department. Looking forward to getting my executive producer business cards printed and further propagating the formula. Thanks for all you guys do.
Yeah.
Future Baron of Logan Square.
Hey, send us a picture of your business cards with the executive producer on. That's cool. I want to take a look at that.
33. That's the magic number.
You've got karma.
Hey.
Sir Robert Alter, 33333, Kansas City, Missouri. I would like this donation to go towards rebuilding Club 33. If Leo can sell bricks to help build his new Twit studio, then Club 33 can sell engraved stripper poles and monogram butt towels to help his reconstruction effort. Note, a butt towel is the towel used by strippers between sets to cover the chair when sitting with a customer.
Oh, this is someone in the know. Has Sir Robert been working at a club?
Well, he probably visits one once in a while. Why not? Please use this donation toward the purchase of the main stage stripper pole. I would like my name engraved on the pole so I can. And the girl comes down it and she's cut to shreds, so I can die happy knowing girls grinding against my pole all night long.
All right.
Okay. All right. This does
Right.
not have to be read on the show, but my wife has been a stripper pole dancer for 14 years.
Hold on a second. There's a video here.
To make Adam happy, there's a couple of videos for you to watch.
Oh, wow. What? How come I'm only getting this now?
Well, you could. What are you in a hurry?
Well, I don't know. I feel like
what was going on last night that you were in a hurry?
Okay. Oh, my God.
I'll look at it later.
Listen to that. All right. Onward.
Okay, Dennis Nutting, you're going to have to make a note here. It's 33333 in Hilo, Hawaii.
What note? I'm sorry. I'm confused. What am I doing?
Well,
I just saw Sir Robert Alter's wife.
Yeah. Dennis Nutting. Ready?
Yeah.
Hello again, John and Adam. Enclosed is my third installment of 3333. If Adam will throw in the penny, I will be knight.
Oh.
This night.
There you go.
Okay, put him on the list because he's not on there because Eric didn't know.
And does he have a preferred name?
Let me finish reading. I will be knight. I hope my donation arrives for Thursday, which it didn't. I'm sorry. So he's got to be on the birthday list, too.
Mm-hmm. And when was his birthday? Do we know that?
The 3rd.
Okay.
Happy birthday 2 days early to John. I asked for nothing, just a birthday shout out, and of course my knighthood. Keep on your so he doesn't have anything, just the title Sir Nutting.
Okay.
Nothing else. Keep on with your
Sir Nutting else. Seriously?
No, that's what I said. It's Sir Nutting else.
I like it.
Right. Keep on with your enduring courage, and thank you for your hard work. Indeed.
All right, he's on the list, the birthday list, and he'll be knighted. Good, we didn't have any knightings. Of course, the Kraut brothers, you don't actually get knighted twice. You do get the credit, but so good.
Sir Nate Wilson in Charleston, South Carolina, associate executive producer, $278.95. Tempting to make good on my offer to match dollar for dollar donations from South Carolina For JC's birthday, I've attached a payment of $278.98. I've been closing payments of $128 and $60.05 to match the South Carolina donations and my own donation of $62.62 to JCD for his birthday and $28.28. But this guy's a math whiz for my birthday. Please provide a birthday shout to JCD and myself for the birthday on the 5th.
Yeah.
So he's got the same birthday as I do.
Excuse me. And Satoshi Nakamoto, Nakamushi.
And others.
Excuse me. And many others.
And finally, associate executive producer, $250 from Tampa, Florida, Tom Haney, who says, thank you for encouraging the critical mind and providing so much value, more value for value than any other media, concert, movie, restaurant, or sporting event of which I may be a customer. When I think of what I pay per hour for each, it is embarrassing. I get 24 hours of No Agenda per month. I recently started my own company doing consulting and Drupal at lavascript.com. I look forward to sharing in the upcoming Job Karma. I wished I would have been involved with No Agenda earlier, so I'm jumping on the chance for a founding executive producer credit. Keep on trucking.
All right. Some Job Karma for you, sir.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
Tight. Wow.
And that was good. And that would be for show 606. And we welcome people to help us on show 607 coming up on Thursday. Go to Dvorak.org/NA.
Yes, and thank you all very much. These are credits that are just like the ones they hand out in Hollywood, except they're real. They're accepted wherever credits are used. Unlike the phonies in Hollywood, we will actually vouch for them. If anyone questions it, we'll be happy to hop on the phone and talk to somebody.
Dvorak.org/NA.
All right, and along with those credits, a task to propagate the formula.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
We were talking about the Kraut brothers and the
Koch brothers.
And here is Representative McDermott in Congress.
Can they say this bill solves a problem of employers cutting hours and refusing benefits when it really only makes it worse? It is surrender, unconditional surrender by the Republicans, pure and simple, to force yet another vote on a bill that has no chance of becoming law. There isn't one chance in a million. One thing I learned in medicine was you never say never. But this is one I can say. It will never, ever pass the Congress. A bill crafted purely to appeal to the Koch brothers and the producers of Fox News rather than forged to protect honest Americans like Ingrid.
What a douche.
Totally.
I mean, this one. Douchebag. Koch brothers. Hey, man. Read your script much? Idiots. Did you see what happened to Senator Dan Coates?
I don't know. What?
I'm not here to get a specific answer from you, but to better understand what is happening and how I think there's probably a trial plan that's going to be put in place, if that rings a bell. What is it you're trying to accomplish, and what are some of the consequences of that going to be to the current DFAS system, locations, personnel, et cetera?
Undersecretary Cohn, I just wanted to
I just got a note saying I'm at the wrong hearing.
Oh, okay.
I've got the right room number, but the wrong hearing.
Well, that would explain why I didn't know.
And it just goes on. I mean,
how was he called on in the first place?
Because all of this, it turns out, is all phony baloney. Well, listen, what he says.
Know anything about this letter?
Well, this is the first time this has ever happened to me, but
no, I'm sure it happens to many others.
I hope it's not a precursor of what may
happen. You're always welcome in our committee. And
see, they don't even know who's in the committee. You see, these people just show up and just sit down and they put their name tag. He had his name tag in front of him too.
Thank you. I saw some familiar.
Carry that with you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to let you off the hook on this one.
Thank you, Senator.
All right. I hope you're able to respond as quickly as as the Undersecretary of the Army is willing to respond. I'll go try to find out where I'm supposed to be.
Oh, yeah. Man, oh, man. The whole thing is a charade. A charade of epic proportions, I tell you.
Wow.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, we get stories like this in the Bay Area. Again, another local. Although this is, I think it's a national story that was picked up by a public relations company to promote the Xbox One because it looked like a package to me. But this is still an interesting story. If you see this kid, and unfortunately this is, essentially radio, but play the 5-year-old in the Xbox One.
Until recently, hacking into the Xbox One gaming system was literally child's play. A 5-year-old American boy named Christopher was able to break into his father's account, revealing a security flaw in the Microsoft console. The boy's father discovered what happened when he realized his son had been playing inappropriate games on his Xbox. Microsoft has since fixed the flaw and given the toddler $50 and 4 free games.
Hey, there's inappropriate games on the Xbox?
I don't think so. Whatever the case, they had the B-roll of this kid, little 5-year-old, with a controller.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, rocking it.
This kid in any other world would have been Mozart.
Oh, the kid's, probably a prime candidate for Ritalin.
Right away.
They tased the kid. No, they tased the kid. By the way, yesterday at the market, there's always musicians
they
at the.
Tased the kid.
They must have.
Oh, I thought you had a story.
No. But I was going to say that there was a kid yesterday at the farmer's market, and we have all these musicians out there. And this kid
every Saturday the musicians are out.
Yeah, well, they're out. I mean, Austin, of course, is basically
Music City.
Yeah, a bunch of nice marketing. Not really, but okay. Yeah. We're
That's what they call it.
Yeah, the live music capital of the world. Yeah, okay.
Well, yeah, I think Vegas probably has more going on.
Nashville.
Well, Nashville for sure.
Yeah. But anyway, so the farmer's market.
Memphis. If you go to Memphis, there's a lot of bars with bands.
Sure.
There we go.
Farmer's market, and there's this kid, no shoes on, sitting in a tree playing classical music on a violin. And
what?
And his dad is like, come down there. And he's like, he's playing. He's like playing Vivaldi. And
how old was this kid, you think?
7, 6, maybe 6.
7.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. And the people were just standing, and the kid's dad was like, and he has no shoes on.
Standing around going, jump.
He wasn't that high. No, he was like shoulder height.
Oh, he's just up there. Okay.
But he didn't want to come down. He was just playing, and people are putting money in his violin case, and his dad's going, no more donations, no more. And it's just piling up with money.
Doesn't have a permit.
And the kid, he had kind of gingerish hair, and total kid ripe for tasing and Ritalin. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, no, they'll give him Ritalin, and that'll be the end of this talent.
Yeah,
we're going to have a very grim future with all these talents getting tasered and
I tried to get
doped up.
I tried to get recorded, but I was too late. There was a piece on CNN. I also couldn't find it on their website because, of course, it's all Flight 370 all day long. But there was this piece right after they aired the reality show, because they keep going with that, because that's also a ratings bonanza, the Chicagoland Rahm Emanuel jerk-off job. And it was Rahm Emanuel with the CEO of Motorola. And they were talking about the school system. Now, we know that they closed down, was it like 50 schools and public schools, and they opened 50, charter schools. It was a total conversion into this, into a different system.
The moneymakers.
Moneymakers, but it's all STEM-based. And what happened, the way they were talking, and I'm going to see if I can get clips for Thursday, because it was really fascinating. Motorola moved their main business, Motorola Solutions or whatever, into Chicago in, I think, 2011, 2012. And part of the deal was that they would make all these contributions, and they put out these huge grants to the early college STEM schools. There's a new one for you, ECSS. And he, the CEO and Emmanuel, just sitting there, just pontificating about how great it is that we're creating the next Motorola workers right here in Chicago, and they don't even have to leave town. They'll be STEM students, and then they can flow right into Motorola. The whole thing was a setup. Yeah, hey, you come to Chicago, bring your money here, and we'll give you some slaves. It was really disgusting, but no one seems to see it. Am I wrong? Am I just completely oblivious to what's going on? Am I on the wrong side of history?
Yes.
As one would say.
You are on the wrong side of history. We already know that.
No, but it was really weird. Oh, my God. Does anyone see that Motorola came in and paid for slaves?
Yeah.
Educate STEM slaves.
This has bothered me for more than probably 2 or 3 decades.
Let's look at this early. Well, yeah. There's this.
Because, in the olden days when I was a kid, and you could actually get summer jobs in high school, you would go to someplace and they would train you. The company that you were working for, you had some crazy job of some sort, they would train you. They didn't expect you to come in under any circumstances knowing how to run their machinery.
I used to hire a lot of interns, and then they would eventually be hired into real jobs. That was another way of doing it.
Yeah, there's that, and there's also apprenticing.
Yeah.
But now they expect the state. Here's what is expected. The companies, these corporations, the evil corporations, they expect the taxpayer to pick up the tab for the training of their employees.
Yes. Now,
screw that.
So listen to this. Early college STEM schools. The 5 Chicago public high schools will partner with corporate sponsors. So we know one is Motorola Solutions. That is the CVCA school. Michelle Clark School, sponsored by Cisco. The George Corliss School, sponsored by Verizon Wireless. Lakeview School, of course, sponsored by Microsoft. And the Southwest High School, sponsored by IBM. The Early College STEM School program is a way for students to continue their education and launch a career path. It's
well, at least they're putting some money into the scheme.
That doesn't really say they're sponsoring, but that doesn't mean they're putting millions of dollars in. No, what they're doing is they're putting.
They may just be guaranteeing jobs or something. I guarantee. If we're going to sponsor this, and we're going to guarantee that this many students, or if they follow this curriculum, will get a job with our company. That's a possibility. We have to look into this further.
Well, that's why I'm kind of bringing this up. Let me just see what the Motorola Solutions Foundation will sponsor.
Just call it the Microsoft High School.
Microsoft High.
Microsoft High. I'm going to IBM High. We're having a football game this Friday. We're going to kick your butt, Microsoft.
Yeah. And then we'll go on to the finals against Motorola High. Well, we name all our stadiums and everything after corporations. Why not?
Yeah, I don't see a problem. I think, as I mentioned before, the cities used to be named after companies, and they still should be. Chicago could be named after, the police department.
Listen to this. Greg Brown, chairman and CEO of Motorola Solutions, said, quote, "As a company with a history of engineering solutions, we have a first-hand understanding of the value of an education in science and technology, and are thrilled to partner with Chicago Public Schools to help develop a local pipeline of technology leaders. Kids, you're in the pipeline. You're like oil or gas.
Already.
You're in the pipeline. It's a pipeline. Like, that's how they talk about sales. What you got in the pipeline? Well, I got some kids coming up the pipeline. In the pipeline. Well, fine.
Like you said, where's the art? There'll be no art. There'll be no music, no band.
No. Well, they may have some of it, but it's irrelevant. Even if they give you art and music, the whole idea is to put you in the pipeline. Who gives a crap? Put you in the pipeline.
Right into a low-paying job at Motorola.
And as we know from my friend the professor, these people, they actually believe it's the right thing to do. But these are not slaves for your corporations, not slaves for your university studies. These are human beings. Human beings who need to thrive and discover new things, and not just be in your pipeline to pay for your old age. We're never going to develop as a human race if we just put the human beings in the pipeline. It's crazy, I tell you. This is not okay.
Well,
but I know I'm on the wrong side of history.
You're on the wrong side of history, my friend. Adam?
I am on the wrong side of history with this thinking. This is just crazy. I got so many. I get letters from parents all over the world now who love our take on children who are different because it makes the world interesting.
Yeah, and most kids literally are different. I mean, my experience, all the kids were so individual.
Yeah.
From kid to kid, all different.
Yeah. But I got a very long note from a Dutch father. And he said, just so you know, I mean, he went through this whole thing, and the same thing happened with his kid, and was also based on, budgets and money for the caretaker. And at a certain point, his kid, who, was on this autism scale, he actually said, if you don't, put him into this specific type of treatment program, we're going to have Child Protective Services come and take your kid away because it's you're abusing your kid. And they came and took his kid away. He said, no, I'm not going to put him in this stupid jail that you put him in. Anyway, long story short, it took many years, and the kid is, he's okay now, and he's out, and he's a very productive kid. But he was saying, even with these, we laugh about the crazy putting on the autism scale, and then schools are all in on this with their programs and their medication. I guess what he was saying is that a lot of pain for parents that comes with this, and a lot of it can ruin your life, literally, having your kid being put on this bogative autism scale. There's real autism, there's real crap, and real sick kids. But this, your kid's intelligent, or your kid likes to climb up the tree barefoot and play the violin. Oh, no.
Can't have that.
No. And by the way.
And he's unlicensed, by the way.
Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah.
Yeah, unlicensed.
Does that 7-year-old have a license, sir? We're going to have to bring him in.
No. Hold on. Hey, kid. Get down, kid, get down. I'm sorry.
All right.
Yeah. Are we just two old guys who just are?
We sound like Statler and Waldorf.
We're really two old guys like, hey,
the way I see it.
It sucks.
When I was a kid, we got jobs.
It sucks. It all sucks.
She's a painter now. Talking about arts. I don't know if you've seen any of these paintings. I have a clip, but it says what I just said. There's a bunch of bull crap going on in Paris.
Oh.
And, talk about, science, technology, engineering, and machining. I just couldn't believe these bull crap reports. These about pollution in Paris.
Oh yeah, no, I heard about this. You can only drive in Paris like the license plates. Even number can drive on one day, and odd numbers on the other day.
Apparently, they got a lot of smog currently because it's I don't know why.
It's the humidity, and it happens.
Yeah, it happens everywhere. Well, it's happening in Paris. So here's the bullcrap report pollution in Paris clip. Just listen to this bullcrap.
There are several ways of combating the impact of the air pollution recorded in cities across France over the past few weeks. You could opt for a spot of oxygen therapy, for example, with the Boldère Jacquier, a very effective machine which oxygenates the body and helps rid it of poisonous carbon monoxide inhaled through exhaust fumes. Carbon monoxide sticks to your hemoglobin better than oxygen does, and so depletes the oxygen source to your body. So here we add a fantastic oxygen carrier which stays in the system for several hours, preventing carbon monoxide poisoning. And this fantastic carrier molecule comes from pine resin from the Landes forest in southwestern France.
On fait une extraction de la résine et ensuite une distillation.
We extract the resin. It then undergoes a distillation.
What is this crap?
I'm telling
you.
I'm watching this with my jaw on the floor.
What are they selling to me?
You go into the shop, which is one of these, like one oxygen bar you see here and there, but it's not an oxygen bar. They've gone to some pine tree area in the south of France where there's a bunch of pine trees, which is usually, France got mostly oak, and they apparently take a bunch of the trimmings and then they make a liquid and boil it, and which sounds like making turpentine, if you ask me. And then you go into this little shop, and you sit about a foot away from this little gassing device, and this boiling turpentine. Essentially, you breathe this for like 6-7 minutes, and then you're now protected against carbon monoxide.
No, man. Hey, you need to back up from the mic or something, man. The mic is not handling your excitement.
Oh, that's funny. I can change mics if you want.
No, I mean just learn to.
I'm trying. I'll
See,
try.
if you had headphones on,
this mic differently.
If you had headphones on, you'd know it was happening.
I know. I'd be deaf
because it sounds nice, but then you get all like this.
Yeah, no, I understand. I need to do what I'm doing now. Anyway, the point is that they have this these shops, and it's just bogus. And this, by the way, it's true that carbon monoxide does bind to your hemoglobin and stays there, which is a problem because it accumulates.
Can you rinse your hemoglobin?
No, once the carbon monoxide, there's two things that do this. Hydrogen sulfide does it too. Once it attaches itself to your hemoglobin, and then now the thing can't carry oxygen until actually, I think that blood cell until it's replaced. I think you're stuck with it. Which is how you get carbon monoxide poisoning. It's a problem. But this bull crap is ridiculous. There's a part 2 to this clip, I believe.
Really?
Oh, wait, here's another one.
Really?
This is a part 2. This is another thing they're doing. This is going on in France. It's going on all over the place. You may have seen these buildings. These are buildings that look like a regular skyscraper, except every other floor is a bunch of trees.
Construction's already underway for the Agora Garden Tower in Taiwan and should be completed in 2016. The architects also designed a sort of vertical forest for Hong Kong.
We are trying to build vegetated towers, natural spaces, green lungs, built upwards, recycling air pollution.
And there are also solutions, albeit on a smaller scale, closer to home. This installation over the A86 in Thiers, near to Paris, sees plants filtering foul air.
Derrière, il y a un ventilateur. There's a ventilator behind, which takes the air down into these pipes, and air is injected through the filters. There's a 20-centimeter space under the filter. The air is redistributed and injected upwards through the mix.
Are these architects who just come up with the ideas and sell them to people who want to build, I guess, bank buildings or...
Yeah.
With atriums.
This is the ludicrous concept they have. And here's what the problem is with these ideas of interspersing open green spaces with the building. It works okay if you have, a few ficus trees and the inside the building and some other things. And yeah, it probably gives you a little oxygen sometimes. The problem is that this stuff rots. These plants die. It's like public fountains in the United States. You put a beautiful public fountain out, and then within 2 weeks, some bonehead will throw a bunch of soap into the fountain, and the whole thing's soap all over the freeway. So who knows? That people will be killing these things. They'll be stealing the plants.
Two words, John. Two words. Bubble bath.
Bubble bath is
the best.
Great.
Yeah, it's the best. Ever done that?
And it overflows and foams everywhere. So anyway, and the other problem with these sorts of crackpot ideas reminds me of the time, which my favorite one was, it was in the late mid-'80s. These public relations firms, there was all this green. We had to be green and careful. And so the little foam things, these little peanuts that you get with as packing material that are just horrible stuff.
Yeah.
They replaced it with popcorn.
Actual popcorn?
Yes, it was a company that made popcorn.
It's kind of a good idea, isn't it? Or was that a dumb idea? Does that make
I got a few of those packages. It seemed like a good idea, but apparently when the rats found out,
I was going to say, when the rats found out about the popcorn in the boxes,
it was a problem.
Nuts.
And now this is the same thing. Rats are going to get into these buildings with all these places where they can burrow and hide and all the rest, and they're going to be rat infested. And that they may try to poison the rats, and then every dog and cat's going to get sick that's in the building.
I'll tell you, I lived in New York City in the late 80s. Rats would climb up to the 30th, 40th floor, man. There'd be rats.
Yeah.
And you'd be down on the street, and they were as big as your arm.
I saw a rat once in New York in an alley, and they with that hump back and kind of the way they walk is creepy. The thing was the size of a good medium-sized poodle. It was huge.
Yeah. I know.
Rats.
Hey, so while we're on Agenda 21 type stuff, global warming, we might as well. Another clip I could not find. Thank you, C-SPAN, for just totally blowing. C-SPAN ruined themselves. John F. Kerry, made a statement, and I only have the quote, and it's a beautiful quote. I mean, we had Barbecuing the Earth from, who said Barbecuing the Earth? That was...
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Right.
F.
So here's John F. Kerry. Unless we act dramatically and act quickly, science tells us our climate and our way of life are literally in jeopardy. Denial of the science is malpractice. I mean, is that a beauty or what?
Wow.
I need this clip. I need this. We have the one when he said it was like weapons of mass destruction, but I need this clip. I need this to save this for prosperity's sake. This is very important. Very important. Then the NBC is, Ann Curry. Remember they fired her? They pushed her out of the morning news slot. And who's now doing that? Savannah Guthrie? Or who's doing the news? Who's the...
Savannah, I think, is the one that's the newsreader.
Well, Ann Curry. So, but, of course, you never really get fired. Don't want you doing any competition, so they keep you on doing special reports.
The head of the World Bank is warning that climate change will lead to violent conflict over shortages of food and water. And
this is NBC Today show. This is what people watch in the morning.
Shouldn't climate change lead to triple cropping?
For shortages of food and water. And this Sunday night, NBC's Ann Curry shows us how ordinary people are already witnessing the impact of rising global temperatures.
It feels like an all-out assault. For the last year and a half, it seems Mother Nature has thrown everything at us.
Notice how the word seems and feels and all these little adjectives are thrown in so they can't actually get sued for lying.
What on earth is going on?
Woo!
For more than a year, we've been on a road trip to far corners of our planet, searching for answers to what's causing these weather extremes.
This is the storm of a century.
We've met ordinary people who've seen the changes up close and asked some of the world's brightest scientists, is the weird weather a coincidence or a sign of fundamental change is here?
The planet is not just changing, it's changed.
And you can watch Ann Curry reports our year of extremes. Did climate change just hit home? This Sunday evening at 7.
And there's this, I'm trying to get a hold of this report that is only available to members of the American Journal of Agricultural Economics or oxfordjournals.org. But the abstract is incredibly promising. Title, Information Manipulation and Climate Agreements, Abstract. It appears that news media and some pro-environmental organizations have the tendency to accentuate or even exaggerate the damage caused by climate change. This article provides a rationale for this tendency by using a modified international environmental agreement model with asymmetric information. We find that the information manipulation has an instrumental value as it ex post induces more countries to participate in an IEA, that's an International Environmental Agreement, which will eventually enhance global welfare. From the ex ante perspective, however, the impact that manipulating information has on the level of participation in IEA and on welfare is ambiguous. In other words, lying's okay. I need this report.
Yeah.
It's published by Oxford University Press on behalf of the Agricultural and Applied Economics Association. If you have, if you're at Oxford, hey, Oxford student listening to a podcast. If you have that, we'd love to listen to read this report, please.
Yes, make a copy.
Because that's basic.
Scan it in.
That's basically a scientific okay to lie about science, or at least exaggerate.
I'd like to see this myself.
Yeah, this report, of course. It was published on April 4th, so it's brand new. We got to see this.
Huh. So there's protests in Belgium.
No.
What do you think of Belgium when they're protesting?
In Belgistan, you mean?
In Belgistan, what do you think they would throw? I'm going to make this an Ask Adam. If you're a protester throwing things, what 2 things would you throw?
In Belgium?
Yeah.
Well, Belgium is known for its mussels, its beer, its French fries, and sex farms.
Okay, so you're not going to be throwing French fries or beer at the police.
Oh, at the police. Oh, hold on a second. You said police.
You're throwing stuff. You're throwing protester.
Protesting.
You're throwing stuff at the police.
I don't know. Will this clip explain what had happened?
I think so.
Protesters took to the streets in Brussels. Thousands heeded a call from the European Trade Union Confederation to show their opposition to austerity measures implemented across the European Union. Belgian police used water cannons and pepper spray on protesters who threw oranges and cobblestones. The demonstration even sent the U.S. Embassy temporarily into lockdown.
Yes, cobblestones. Exactly. Well, the same's going on in Spain.
And oranges.
Well, I don't know where the oranges comes from. Thousands protesting everywhere in Spain. Funny, I'll look at CNN.
The American media is not picking up on any of these riots and protests.
Well, I think
none of them.
We decided a long time ago the reason the American media doesn't do this is so we don't get any ideas over here.
Yes.
Don't give them any.
Reiterating.
Don't give them any ideas. Let's take a look at Russia, Ukraine. I don't want that to fall off the radar.
Yeah, actually, that's funny because I didn't get any clips on Russia, Ukraine for today's show, and I wish I had.
I got a couple things.
It's kind of backed off. Everybody's
playing.
It's coming off. It's coming off the news cycle.
Well, I got an email from one of our producers. Please keep me anonymous. Just wanted to chime in about your comments on the last show about drilling under the border for natural gas. Now, this is about Chevron, who has a $10 billion license, already had that in Ukraine, to go in and frack and drill. Then if they're doing that near the border, they could actually be going... that's our thesis, was they could go under the border and drill Russian gas. He says, I design oil-fueled equipment, and typically when you're doing directional drilling, they drill about 5 to 6 kilometers from the well site. If they're drilling right on the border, I'd agree, they could be stealing gas.
But, I was looking at where those fields are. They're way farther in.
Oh, not north, not east?
No, they're down. They're about, I'd say, if you looked at the border, they're about 30 miles inside inside Ukraine.
Okay. Well, then that falls by the wayside.
Well, it doesn't necessarily fall by the wayside, but it could be the maps are bull, and there may be other stuff going on the Russian side. Who knows?
The thing, though, is obviously bull because I couldn't find it anywhere. Apparently, it's according to The Guardian, which is supposed to be a reputable news outfit there. This is from a leaked memo. We have not seen the memo. NASA has not announced this. This is not official news, but it's a leaked memo according to sources that we have no proof of.
The dispute between the U.S. and Russia over the crisis in Ukraine has made it to outer space. The federal government has ordered all contact between NASA and Russia's space program to cease. The only exception is the International Space Station. But at a time when the U.S. depends on Russia to get astronauts back and forth from the space station, how significant are the consequences of this new policy?
I'm calling BS on this. There's just no evidence of it. It's like some directive. There's no directive. I haven't seen any evidence. There's nothing.
As far as we can tell,
nothing.
Everything's just as usual.
But if you Google NASA, Russia, just those two words will be enough. Let's look at the headlines. NASA cuts ties with Russia, except on space station. NASA to end most activities with Russia, CNN. Let me just see. Where is their proof? Let me just read the CNN article. NASA is spending much of its work with Russia in light of actions in Ukraine. The decision by the U.S. Space Agency to halt the majority of its ongoing comes amid a statement sent out by NASA on Wednesday, but there is no statement. You go to, it's not on NASA's website. Where's the statement? It
sounds like a planted article just to distract people from whatever's going on. Which is nothing.
It's not attributed to anybody. maybe something new has come out since yesterday. But looking here, looking at the news, it's just and no one checks anymore. Just whatever, just go ahead.
Yeah, run it. Hey, what do we do with this, Bill? Oh, run it. Who cares? Nobody's paying attention. Just run it. We need this. We need the inventory.
The latest from NASA. NASA tells to air upcoming space station cargo ship activities. NASA coverage set for SpaceX mission to space station. This is probably what it's about. Hey, cancel the contract with the Ruskies. Bring in Elon Musk. And then this morning, I was quite surprised to see
Elon Musk may have sent that press release out.
It wouldn't surprise me. Quite surprised to see Mike Rogers back on the TV with Dutch Ruppersberger. These are the two gentlemen who, these two boneheads, these morons, oversee all intelligence committees. They're the chair of the intelligence.
The irony of it all.
It is very ironic. Here's Mike Rogers.
And so I worry a little bit about its timing of release. Remember, we haven't done this since 2004. The program went away in 2006 completely. And we have real problems today. Remember, the Russian intelligence services are cutting people's ears off and putting knives at 85-year-old men's throat to get them in line in places around the world. That's where we need our intelligence services to focus.
Remember, the Russian intelligence services are cutting people's ears off.
Yeah,
putting knives.
Let me write down.
Let me just. I'll back it up for you. Let me make sure we hear that correctly.
Remember, the Russian intelligence services are cutting people's ears off.
Cutting people's ears off.
Okay, got that.
Yeah. Okay.
Often putting knives at 85-year-old men's throat.
Putting knives at 80-year-olds' throats
to get them in line in places around the world.
To get them in line.
They got to get them in line.
Did I miss something? Did I miss
I don't know. I missed that story too. I don't know about the missing ears and the throat cutting.
Did I miss? This is a great story. I can't believe that we missed that. Well, do you think that's great? It only took me 5 more minutes of watching him, and then this butte came along.
And now we're going to, when the agency is challenged from Al-Qaeda's resurgence around the world to the Russian intelligence service. Remember, we have more KGB agents in the United States today, Russian intelligence agents, that's the old Cold War moniker for them, than we had at the height of the Cold War. More Chinese intelligence collectors in the United States by a number that is just breathtakingly nerve-wracking for the United States.
Breathtakingly nerve-wracking.
Hold on, we're overrun with spooks from Russia and China.
Why don't they just do something about it?
I don't know. Apparently, Mike Rogers is just
told the FBI.
Yeah,
that's where we need our intelligence services focused. This is a debate we've had. It's gone. It's a part of our history that we're probably going to.
He's talking about that CIA report. Now I understand, Mike, but wow, I didn't know.
Okay, let's stop because we had to give a little background on this. So the CIA actually was the Senate Intelligence Committee put together this 6,000-page report about torture and who was. Points the finger at all the bad actors, and it probably would result, if this thing went public, in indictments. Because there's a lot of illegal activity, apparently, according to Feinstein.
Well,
and the people in that
at least we're not cutting guys' ears off.
But, I don't know that's not true. Maybe the cutting the ears thing off is actually out of the report.
Yeah,
and he got mixed up. The guy's not that bright. So they didn't want to bring it out because everyone's all bent out of shape about water under the bridge. What difference does it make? This was 10 years ago when they were doing this, as though, a crime has a past due date or it's got an expiration date, which is true with some crimes, but not with these sorts of things. And so Rogers is trying to keep this thing under wraps because he's a stooge for the intelligence agencies. We don't know which ones, but probably all of them. And so now they want to release a short version of the thing, like 2,000 pages of the 6,000. And they were thinking seriously of doing this, and he's trying to quash that.
Right.
And that's where we stand.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, on February 6, 2014, reports came out that captors in Ukraine cut off activist's ear and crucified him to get a confession. Abductors were believed to be Russian agents. But right underneath that story, drunk Russian cuts off own ears. Two Siberian men tie at arm wrestling, cut off own ears. Mike, you got to Google this stuff, man, before you start talking about it.
Yeah, we don't know that those guys weren't. We don't know they were Russian agents. They could have been that fascist group that is the far right or whatever it's called, the right front or whatever.
Yeah.
In the Ukraine, which are pretty brutal-looking characters or brutal acting.
Dmitro Bulatov says kidnappers kept him in the dark for more than a week, crucified him and cut off part of his ear, and dumped in a forest after a week of torture. Okay.
What were they after?
Information. We want some information. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I guess it's fact now.
So I was listening to a little bit of Obama's little talk.
Which talk was this?
About how great he is, which is pretty much most of his talks. And so I have a kind of a quiz, and I want you to listen to part one of this little statement he makes, and then I want you to listen to the counter, and I want you to pre-guess what he's going to say next.
The budget I sent Congress earlier this year is built on the idea of opportunity for all. It will grow the middle class and shrink the deficits we've already cut in half since I took office. This week, the Republicans in Congress put forward a very different budget, and it does just the opposite.
Okay,
so now here's what the deal is.
This is from his podcast.
Yeah,
I didn't watch the podcast, but that's interesting.
Well, yeah, I saved the day.
Yes.
Okay, so here's the deal.
Okay.
He makes 3 points. It's going to create opportunity, one. That's point one.
Mm-hmm.
And the opposite of that would be what?
Unemployment.
Okay, we'll put that in there. That's your guess.
Wait. You asked me. That's not my guess. You asked me what the opposite of.
Well, no. Okay. Well, that's what he said. Everything he said. The Republicans did the opposite.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, so the
that
opposite
would be the opposite. You're right.
Okay. Depression, unemployment, women, slaves.
Okay, but we don't. Okay, I don't want to make this a long segment.
All right.
The second thing he said was grow the middle class, and the other obviously opposite
would be shrink. Yeah.
And then his third goal was shrink the deficit. So that means that the Republicans want to grow the deficit.
Yes, grow the deficit.
Now that's the one that I thought was interesting
because the Republicans don't. The Republicans don't. They want to shrink the deficit.
No, he wants to shrink.
I know,
the
but so do Republicans.
Well, he says the Republicans want the opposite. If you remember, at the end of it, it says the Republicans have their own plans, and they want just the opposite of what he said, which are these three things. So I want you to listen carefully to what he says is the opposite, and tell me where it's the part. Just re-explain to me what he says about the deficit.
And it does just the opposite. It shrinks opportunity and makes it harder for Americans who work hard to get ahead.
He didn't say that.
He didn't say anything.
Obama! He forgot to say it. Well, that's a jip.
No, the guy is unbelievable.
Really?
Sorry, that was I think a failed segment, but I made my.
It's all right.
Obama!
Yeah.
They got you to play that clip, which is good. I don't know. Do I want to do this one thing?
No, I'll tell you. Let's do this thing.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh, yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda in the morning.
We do have some people to thank for show 606. Very nice number. And one of them came in with a note, which I will read since they mailed in the check and a note. Written by both Aaron and Joseph Kramer of Sewickley, Pennsylvania. And they sent a picture. An actual picture. It's not like a JPEG.
Can you scan it?
Yeah, I'll scan it and send it to you. Yeah. It's Erin, and she's very pretty. She looks like some actress, but I can't. She probably knows what actress she looks like, but she looks like a very pretty actress.
Oh,
in the morning, gentlemen. Curiously, this note was dated March 4th, but okay. I'm writing for my husband, whose penmanship is appalling. We are responding to your urgent repeal for donations in the 3 email, even though I wanted to wait until there was a kitten in the newsletter, thereby positively reinforcing the use of kitten pictures. We were arguing over when to donate while eating our slave rations of Chinese food, and imagine our surprise. Imagine our surprise when this was my husband's fortune. And she glued a fortune cookie fortune.
Wow, it's a whole collage.
Yeah, this is like a work of art. It was sent to me. And it says, the fortune cookie fortune says, your fortune said you need to make a donation.
Really?
Give it to the chef.
Huh.
Yeah. So the Kung Pao gods have spoken. I also wanted to relate yet another anecdote of No Agenda Karma success. I am a therapist in private practice, and I've been struggling to increase my client base until our last donation, when 2 new clients called out of the blue. So send me some job karma, or I'll never be able to get off the stage at Club 33. And then Joseph writes, and as she says, bad penmanship. He kind of scribbles it in all kind of like, it's just hard to explain. I would like to call my beautiful and sexy wife, Erin, to the stage. Sorry for the crap handwriting. So,
well, okay, this is all fine, but we have no club.
No, the club is being. We got the permits finally came through.
When? Come on, when?
I can't tell you an exact date. You know, if I could, I would. It'll be before. I guarantee it'll be before the Vinegar book is done.
It's going to be like a half an hour with all these women we have to bring up on stage.
It's going to be a lot of girl-on-girl action to keep it moving along.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
All right, onward, dude.
Colin Peterson in Bellingham, Washington, $100 for a founding producer. Josh Mandel in Greenville, South Carolina, $100. He needs a birthday.
Sorry. Slipped.
And we got a birthday call out coming for him.
Yeah.
And then Jason Daniels with... And he's in Dallas, Texas. And then also Stashkov Vladimir, or Vladimir Stashkov, which I believe to be the case, out of Kemerovo, Russia. And he gets a...
Kemerovskaya. Oh, let me see where that is. I talked to some Russian guy on the ham radio the other day.
Oh, maybe it's him. Maybe it's...
No, I doubt that.
Vladimir.
Let me just see what it is.
I doubt it.
Kemerovskaya. Yeah. It's, oh boy. Where is this place? I don't like the way Google does that when you Google a place and it only shows you a close-up and no context.
Yeah, you got to back it all. I know. I know. I don't like that either.
It looks like an industrial town.
Can you go on Street View?
Yeah, but
you can?
Yeah, I can go on
Street View. I'd love to be in Street View in Russia. I'm going to drive around this town.
See, where are we? We're in this town. I
don't leave my house anymore. I just go on Google Street View.
I'm on a bridge. Oh, I see a Ferris wheel. There's a Ferris wheel here.
Huh?
Yeah, and let me look over here. Looks like we
left at the statue of Lenin.
Looks like we've got a river and lots of cranes to put stuff onto the ships in the river.
It's a port.
The port. Looks like a port, yeah.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. All right, onward. Colin Peterson, Bellingham, Washington, we got him. Josh Mandel, Greenville, South Carolina, we got him. Jason Daniels, Dallas, blah, blah, blah. I'm way behind. Here we go. Jaap Geelhoed in Oudeland. $98.
Jaap Geelhoed, yeah.
Huh? Was that good?
Mm-hmm. And he has a birthday for his brother and for you as well. And Karma LGY for his Brazilian Olivia. I met her. Woo! I can't believe she's still with you, Jaap. she a little above your pay grade, my friend.
All right, and here we go.
69, dudes!
Here's the 69ers. Brian Brown in Orange, California. Steve Bottoms in Reno, Nevada. And finally, Sam Menner in Box Hill, and he wants to call out Mark as a douchebag.
Douchebag!
All right.
And
now we got a whole bunch of 62s for your birthday, right?
Okay, we're doing these are all 62s for my birthday.
A whole bunch is an exaggeration. There's a couple people who cared.
It's
a nice bunch for sure.
15 people. Maybe.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, that's more than I thought.
So we'll see. Here we go. I'm going to read them one at a time. From starting with the 62 from Tom Skillett Bissell, another Renoite. And then we got Thomas Carney in Portland, Oregon. Sir Borislav Marinov in Aliso Viejo. Ben Hink in Orland Park, Illinois. Michael Workman in Burnwood, New South Wales, Australia. Sir Hank in Kew Gardens, New York. James Murray, Huntington Beach, California. John Strag in San Antonio, Texas. Jason Doolin in Las Vegas, Nevada. Gavin Bowd in Carlton, New South Wales, Australia. That's nice. Get these Australians in there. John Catalano in House Springs, Maryland. Jeffrey Gerlach in Lincoln, California. Where's Lincoln? I thought he's over here in Concord. J.M. Caballero in Santa Clara, California. Nicholas Principe in Raleigh, North Carolina, next to Durham. Andrew Walton, New Hope, Minnesota Nuts. Robert Mueller in Chesapeake, Virginia. Not the same one.
Still, we'll take... You'll take Virginia wherever we can.
Yeah, Virginia's Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Nicola Nikoloff in Northborough, Massachusetts. Emmanuel Lossier in Brossard, Quebec. Dean Ashton in Vasa, Finland. It's an interesting name for Finn. Steve Bottoms again in Reno. I don't know if that's a mistake or what, but there he is. Anonymous in Los Angeles, California. Mark Borghese in Las Vegas, Nevada. Stephen Sandlin, Birmingham, Alabama. John White in Jackson, Tennessee.
That's Sir John, I think.
I thank all these people.
Dr. John, Sir John White.
Sir John White. So, yeah. Jonathan Sewell in Woodstock, New Brunswick, Canada. The other Woodstock. Jason Daniels in Dallas, Texas. And that concludes my birthday well-wishers. I want to thank every one of them for sending in a donation specific for this event. Onward, Sir Dr. Sharkey, $60.60 in Jackson, Tennessee. He has a comment of some sort. Sir Dr. Sharkey. Sam Menner in Box Hill, Victoria. Sir Kevin Payne in Richmond, Virginia. And $50 each. Yeah, well, it's $120 from Virginia. Well, what are you going to do? Christopher Walker, $50. Matthew Januszewski in Chicago, $50. Patrick Mecom, I'm sure is a knight. Dan Greb in Lansdale, and finally Sir Alan Bean in Oakland, and Sir Brett Farrell in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And that concludes our donors for over $50 donors for show 606.
Yes, and I want to specifically thank the 49-9er-9ers, the 48-48s, 33-33s, the 30s, the 24, 15, 13, 13, 12, 12s, 11, 11s, the 10s, the 786, 623, the 555s, the 5s, the 4s, still 4s in here, and there's even a 2.
I like the 2s are the rare ones.
And there's even a 1.
Well, that's just somebody giving us 1. I don't know. It's thanks. Every dollar helps. But that's not part of it. No,
I think it's I can't say who because it's
anonymous below 50.
Yeah, it's below 50.
But the $2 ones was the original subscription
6 years ago.
7 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy.
When we decided, and I've seen other people make this mistake.
Mistake.
You ask, request, or have people help you at such there's only a certain number of people that are going to help you, and if your donation amount is $2, you're going to get that 2x that number of people instead of opening it up and letting people give what they think they should give, and that's they're happier. Anyway, so we got a couple of $2 left though.
1.
Well,
on this donation side, yeah. All right, so Thursday we'll be back with more, and of course we'll be keeping our eye on everything. The huge distraction is upon us. The ratings are off the hook for the cable news outlets. That's why we have to be very vigilant. You need to do that as well. We're not just looking for financial donations, but for your expertise.
Yeah, we have a lot of experts out there that like to help.
Yeah, and in outrageous categories, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cousin's here, Lucy.
Oh, Lucy finally showed up. Is she in the studio with you?
No, I think Mickey's picking her up. She's in Austin visiting some girlfriends. They had like a girlfriend reunion weekend or something. She's a little older than I am, a couple of years older. And probably there was a lot of drinking involved. I had an idea.
Well, Austin's a good place to drink.
Yeah, but she's Don's kid.
Right,
Yeah.
right. She's the one who told you to screw yourself when you asked her for some information. Right?
No.
Isn't she the one who says, I can't tell you because it's classified?
No. That's like a niece. No, that's like a cousin's kid's brother's kid or something. The whole family. The two things happen. So obviously, I am the black sheep of this family, but it is really, really possible that I was MK Ultra at a young age, and
you could be activated.
I'm receiving information through the ham radio.
That, or you could be activated.
Maybe she's here to activate.
Maybe she's here. Yes, it has to be in person. That would be the way to do it. You don't want to have these random activations, and then random comes into it. You could be accidentally activated, and that's no good.
But I had a moment there when I'm thinking, and you can Google her. But I had a moment where I'm thinking
she's Googleable.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name?
Lucy Buckley.
Lucy Buckley.
Yeah, Lucy Gregg Buckley. Was married to Christopher Buckley.
Oh, right, the Christopher Buckley wife.
Uh-huh. That's not how we refer to her in the family, John. Anyway, I hope she's not listening. Mickey, turn it off.
She's not listening.
Well, I don't know what they're up to. She went to go get. Maybe she's.
It's not an insult.
No. That she's here to activate me? No, that's not an insult.
Well, if she's here to activate you, then you got. This is a problem for the show.
Who knows? Maybe she's here with a big check. That's what I'm
looking for.
There you go.
Dvorak.org/NNA. It's your birthday.
And happy birthday to Jack Januso. He celebrated on the 5th along with John. Dennis Nutting celebrated on the 3rd. Sir Nate Wilson also on the 5th. Jaap Geelhoed said happy birthday to his brother Eric and John for the 5th. And Josh Mandel, 34, he turns on April 8th. Happy birthday from your friends here at the best podcast in l'Universal.
It's your birthday, yeah.
And of course, we congratulate the Kraut brothers of 89th and Bluegrass with their second knighthood. One more to get to Barony. I have a feeling they'll stick by us because, let's face it, we have evil Kraut brothers. This is a very good thing. And I need to draw the sword, and if you can draw yours as well, John, we have one knighting for today. Requesting Dennis Nutting to come forward to the round table of knights and dames. Dennis! Thank you very much, sir. I kicked in that extra penny for you, no matter, because we are proud to bring you into the round table. Hereby I pronounce thee Sir Nutting, Knight of the Norwegian Round Table. And of course, I have whiskey and wet wipes, bad science and perky breasts, Cuban cigars and single malt scotch, hookers and blow, rent boys and Chardonnay, hot pants and booze, wenches and beer, geishas and sake, vodka and vanilla, bong hits and bourbon, sparkling cider and escorts, and mutton and mead for you. And a seat at the round table, and obviously go to noagendanation.com/rings. Pick up your well-deserved night ring, and enter your information, and Eric will get that to you. And from now on, every future donation, and we do have to remind people, please put in your title when you make a donation, because it's just impossible to track with all the different ways people support the show.
Exactly. And I want to thank them profusely.
We do indeed.
Even though, it's the panda that seems to be kicking it here.
Since in the United States of Gitmo Nation, the Obamacare is now in the news, I have a different piece of news that might be interesting to y'all. The Netherlands, which of course is went from a total communist, socialist, but with commie tendencies nation, to what the new king calls the participation economy, which means you're now going to pay for stuff you used to get for free, and healthcare is one of them. So essentially,
I love that, by the way.
Participation. It's actually the participation. What is maatschappij? What's the translation? Society. The participation society. So one of the things that happened, a good year ago, it was 2 years, A year ago, 2 years? When were we stuck in Holland? That was a year ago, right? Yeah. They basically created a version of the Affordable Care Act for the Netherlands, where it is you have a mandatory, if you're above certain pay grade, mandatory insurance coverage that you have to carry. And I think the minimum payment is kind of like a cell phone bill. It's about 100 euros. Of course, your deductible then is 5,000 euros. So, most people will have to carry a higher premium. But the whole system has become, and it's very weird to see what is going on there. Doctors can't work more than certain hours. It's very similar to the Affordable Care Act, although I've never really read any documentation. I'm just seeing the results of it. And doctors can only work a certain number of hours, and doctors are getting out of the profession because all the system really is now is specialists and healthcare providers. As your provider will administer the medication.
My doctor was complaining to me about the situation, even though he's a Berkeley liberal, and he was talking about the most work. For one thing, everyone had to go to computers.
Right.
So he's 70, and he uses a computer, but he can't type. He's not a keyboard guy.
Windows 3.1.
So he has to
he's a command line
laptop
guy
that he has to use, and
he's a command line guy.
He can't flip through the paper. He can't flip through a file anymore. He's got to go into this machine, but he's complaining that most of his time is now occupied with paperwork.
Oh, yeah.
He said, you change your prescription, they come back at you. You can't change this prescription unless you tell us why.
Right.
And then he's got to fill out a big form.
Right.
Every time he does anything.
Well, what is happening in the Netherlands, and this is big news, at least I thought it was big news, and I have to say right up front, there's no way for me to really vet this, because it could easily be propaganda from the hospitals. But according to the Rabobank, which is a pretty big bank, and actually I'd say the most flexible bank, banks are no longer providing the same lines of credit to hospitals because the whole situation has made hospitals and their future earnings, not visible, not bankable.
Sketchy.
Yeah. So hospitals can't plan for upgrades to their operating rooms. That's how almost all companies in the world grow with debt. And they, in order to, not have to wait 500 years until they've saved enough, they go and borrow money, and there's all kinds of financial instruments. And the banks are saying, you know what? We're not so sure you're going to be able to pay this back, so we're not going to lend you any more money to upgrade. This is it was heralded as, when I moved to the Netherlands, it was unbelievable. We had free healthcare, the best healthcare, great doctors, everything was fantastic. No death panels. No, never seen any of those. But now, hospitals won't be able to get the credit they need.
So what do you think created this situation?
A bad system, a bad idea. Insurance companies running the show.
Yeah, it's the insurance companies that are ruining it for everybody.
Which really are the banks. I mean, insurance companies are banks. They're just kind of reverse banks. So... Now, I
like the way the Republicans in this country deflect. The Democrats are all in on this, like the Affordable Care Act, but the Republicans' argument is always, you don't want the government telling you, doctor, what to do. And the government hasn't been telling the doctor what to do. It's the insurance companies. And that's, I guess, is okay, because nobody ever says, we can't have the insurance companies telling everyone what to do. They're the bad actors.
Man, no kidding.
And the Republicans, they never mention this.
And no
as far
kidding.
as the Democrats are concerned, this is great. This is why you cannot be a member of these political parties. They're both horrible.
Yeah, you really can't. Let's see, what else do we have?
Okay, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Something more exciting.
No, let me just stick in the Netherlands for one more second.
Okay.
Heineken.
Douchebag.
Why would you say douchebag to Heineken?
Douchebag.
I don't want to say it again now.
Douchebag.
Okay.
Heineken will be investing 100 million euros in a brewery in...
Let me guess.
Mm-hmm.
China.
No.
Oh.
No. This
Belgium?
worse. No. They're if they're a douchebag, where is this brewery going to be?
Well, it's not going to be in Holland.
No, of course not. No. It has to be in a place that has been rubbleized, where lots of money is.
Syria?
No, wait. I'll help you out. There's a great hotel.
Haiti.
Yes.
Wow.
100 million euros in Haiti, where people still are pooping themselves to death.
Is it going to be in the north part of Haiti that has where the Clinton money all went, where there's not a bunch of guys pooping everywhere?
Let me see what I have here. So it's 100. Oh, I'm sorry, it's dollars, not euros. $100 million, 77 million euros. Okay, so it says according to the Dutch CEO, the Haitian Heineken office, a quarter of the whole amount will be put directly into the new brewery. The rest of the money will be used to increase production by buying more trucks and generators. Of course, generators for the beer brewery, not for the people in the tents who are pooping. Hey, slave, want a beer? You can't have any electricity, but you want a beer?
You can poop and pee.
At least you'll feel good while you're sick. Want a beer? You can't have electricity. No electricity for you, but you can have a beer. Or you could come here and work in the factory. I'm sorry, it's all automated. We don't really need you. You can serve me in the hotel, in the Clinton Hotel. Disgusting. I will never drink another Heineken in my life.
I never knew you drank it at all.
Well, sometimes, but not anymore.
Well, I can't get that politically motivated by anything they do. I don't normally drink Heineken. The problem with Heineken in the United States is, unless it's put in one of those special cans, it's very skunky.
I'm a Budweiser guy, I have to admit.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's a weird thing from when they were my client, and you would go there to St. Louis, and they had this one bar near the brewery, and this is the main office, and you go there with like the Anheuser, the Busch guys, the kids, Woody and Grinder. Can I have a scotch? Yeah, as long as you have it with a Budweiser. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll have a scotch with a Bud on the side. Thank you very much. So
I never knew that you'd be a Bud drinker.
No, it's not really, but because it's a thing.
I don't even see you drinking beer.
I don't really drink beer at all. Yeah, I don't really.
Huh.
So we know that there's a war on the post office. The United States Post Office. And the United States Post Office is very special because it is really a part of our Constitution. And the right to send mail privately without it being opened by anyone under huge penalty is constitutionally embedded in our system.
Right. It's the only protected form of communication we have in this country.
Right. And, of course, it's under attack by this meme that is out there that they're losing billions and billions of dollars, when the reason they're losing that money is because they've had to pre-fund their pension fund by 70 years. It's 70 or some
75, I believe.
Obscene amount of years, which is never discussed. It's just, they don't know how to make money. They don't know how to make money. Crazy. Stupid. This stamps. But of course.
And then you have a bunch of douchebags who are E guys, the weenies that are in the tech scene, who like to. I remember going on the Twitch show once, and the guy says, the post office sucks. Will you go to the post office?
That wasn't the guy. That was Tank Girl.
I don't think it was Tank Girl. It's funny, though.
I'll never forget the time I thought she was a he. All right. But now we have a real reason, you see. Because what we have to do is, I believe that the government, our federal government, can't stand the fact that we have this private means of communication. They can't stand it. So we got to come up with something, shouldn't we?
Well, if I had a meeting, I'd say we got to get rid of this thing and substitute something else that we can openly spy on. I mean, I don't think people are going to go for FedEx kind of blew it for us by raising the prices on their overnight letters. I mean, it used to be you could get a letter, I think it was like $6, $7, $8. Maybe it was $8. Now they're like $30, $25. It's ridiculous.
Have we ever actually looked at the numbers of the post office? If you took out the pre-funding of the pensions, would they be profitable?
You can get most of that stuff on the Postal Union site. The Postal Union is the only one that has been bringing up these issues, and I've only heard it discussed once ever by the media on the Amy Goodman show. They had a postal guy on. We had the clip. The postal guy was on there, and he went through the whole thing about how they've said more mail is being used, more people are using it, more profit is being made, and all on and on, except for this pre-funding, which was they were saddled with by some douchebag. That's I don't know who it was, but it was some particular congressman that I should look it up and find out so we can talk about this with more detail. But anyway,
well,
you can find out.
I'd like to find out if they are profitable, because people always say, in fact, the chat room was saying it right now. Oh, the post office is run like crap. It was useless, worthless.
Yeah, no, they've been brainwashed. And the post office varies from I use
it varies, post offices. It's a government system, so yeah, of course, some of it.
Well, it's not that, but it's kind of managed like a federal management. So each postmaster has more power, and they have different budgets, and they run their little operation slightly different from post office to post office. You'll find if you go from post office to post office that everyone's a little different. It's like going to, it's like, I don't know if you've ever done one time when I did a book, I went on a radio tour, and I was always surprised by how, if you go from station to station to station, how different they are. They got different, the equipment's all different, the way they run is all different, the way the studios are designed there's no cookie cutter anything, and the post office is very similar to that. They're all very different.
Okay, so here's what I have. The United States Postal Service financial problems have little to do with delivering the mail in the 4 fiscal years since 2007. Despite the worst recession in 80 years, despite internet diversion, revenues from postal operations exceeded costs by $611 million. So apparently they're profitable. The problem lies elsewhere in the 2006 congressional mandate that they pre-fund retiree health benefits for the next 75 years. An obligation no other public agency faces. The more than $5 billion annual payments since 2007, $21 billion in total, are the difference between a positive and negative ledger. Remove this onerous pre-funding and the Postal Service would have been profitable even during the economic downturn. But we're, okay. There you go. Well, that's just coming from the PostalEmployeeNetwork.com, so who knows? But I'll look into it. I'm
get
the numbers.
They're accurate. They're not out to... to exaggerate. That's what I've heard.
It would make sense. Well, anyway, these guys are no good. They've got to go. And Eric Holder's in on it. And here's the question that sparks it all. And he say, yeah, we got to do something about that.
Madam Chairman, you have raised, as well as Senator Shaheen, the issue of heroin and what we need to do as we move forward. You've used the terminology, we need to be on the edge of our chair when it comes to issues like heroin. I would suggest also, and I present this to you, Mr. Attorney General, that we are seeing an increasing level of synthetic drugs that are coming into our communities and doing great damage. And of course, the problem is that as a state, you can say that based on this formulary, this is a drug under this schedule, but all these individuals have to do is change that formulary and they evade or avoid those laws. We're seeing some really devastating impact in some of our very, very remote communities where the only way to get these drugs in is by the mail. Mm-hmm. And the drugs are coming into the community through the mails and
through the post office,
through the United States Post Office, Woo-hoo! Madam Chairman. Yeah. And it's something that we've been trying to work on some issues up north, but again, we're seeing I don't know whether we call it an epidemic, a crisis, but we are being beat on these issues, and the impact to our communities, again, utilizing legal processes to get these drugs in there that are in many cases, wiping out families. So we need some assistance here.
Senator, you've raised something that I think is a point that we really need to focus on, and I had the same reaction that the chair did when I first heard about this, but you're right. The Postal Service, the mails are being used to facilitate drug dealing, and we need to work with the Postal Service to come up with ways in which we get at that problem. It is shocking to see the amount of drugs that get pumped into communities all around this country through our mail system, and that we have to deal with that. That's a major problem that we have to deal with.
That's right.
This is not good. Who is that douchebag asking the questions or making those statements?
I forgot to write it down.
That's okay.
I can find out if you want. But.
No, this is another.
But it was a setup question. It was a setup question.
This is nothing. I mean, it was when I was a kid. There, people used to ship marijuana and other things through the post office. And what's new? What's new? Hello, what is new? Nothing. And where are all these drug sniffing dogs? Why don't you just have them at the post office? They can sniff out a package that stinks to high heaven of something, heroin or whatever it is.
Well,
and then you just put it, and you can get that's how they do it. I mean, they don't open the mail. They let the guy, you have the drug sniffing dog identify the package. It goes to somebody's house. You have the police pick the person up there with a warrant, and after they can open the mail then.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Why don't they do that? They can arrest people if they do it that way. So what's the point of attacking the post office?
Well, the point is they want to get rid of the post. Yeah, to get rid of it. To get rid of the constitutional right to be able to send something confidentially without the government or anybody, for that matter, under severe penalty, looking at it. That's the whole point. Hey, and I don't know if you heard about this, and everyone's been talking about, the bankers committing suicide, and I've kind of been, whatever, because they also included, some financial guy from Tata Motors, and I'm skeptical of it. But now, former ABN AMRO CEO and his wife and their 22-year-old daughter all killed in their home. Now, this is the same guy.
Sounds like a hit.
Yeah, not just a hit. That's a message. It's one thing to kill a banker, but to kill the whole family, that's like a message. But what's interesting about this, and this is why I'm kind of looking at it now for sure. It
also has Russian mob kind of sound.
This when this guy was CEO, he left a couple of years ago. He was pretty much kicked out, actually. And then he wanted an €8 million payoff, and there was a huge fracas about it. And the guy was clearly, ABN AMRO got bailed out big time. The state owns it now. But in 2009, when he was CEO, his chief financial officer was found dead with shotgun wounds near his home. So you kind of, in all this stuff where we're looking at, the petrodollar being under attack and stuff coming out and stuff happening. This is a big one. This is a message. I mean,
but a message about what? We need to identify what's going on.
I have no information. That we don't even know how they were. The Dutch news hasn't even identified how they were killed. And this is a family tragedy. Yeah, sure it is. But so what are you saying? The guy killed his wife and kid and then killed himself. Is that what this is again? Really? Is that what it has to be? Because the Russians are, they've got this deal set up now with Iran, which will be oil for goods. And then somehow they're trying to rig some I don't know how this works, but or how you do it without people attacking the ruble. But the whole idea is for their deal with China to sell their gas, their oil, specifically Reznov's oil. These are the guys that were selling helicopter. Reznov? I mean, what's the hell the name is this? Rosneft. That's a big company. I think they also sold the helicopters to Syria. I mean, these guys do all kinds of stuff. We buy stuff from them. They want to sell their oil in rubles to China, but they're trying to figure out how to do it with some financial mechanism. And of course, it would be easy for a lot of people to attack the ruble. Maybe that's what all this is about, Maybe that's what Ukraine is about.
That's what I was suggesting in the last show.
You're right. Just attacking the ruble, which I think has gone down. It
recovered a bit though. So, but yeah, I'm sure everybody would like to be out from under the petrodollar, and the Russians included, because we kind of just make, it's like the United States essentially gets subsidized by the world as the thing declines in value very small, very little bit every time, and it's money in our banks, essentially. And it's like, well, they would like to have that piece of the action, but we've set it up so it's impossible. And every time anyone tries it, we rublize them.
Well,
but we can't rublize Russia. That's not possible.
Maybe we're rublizing them.
We've always relied on the ruble being a piece of crap, so we never worried about it. I think the Chiners are the ones with the currency we got to deal with.
You mean it's because it's going to be strong? It's going to be a problem?
Well, it's very strong. It's strong and it's undervalued, so it's worth using, and it's pegged to the dollar. So when we try to do some trickery, they just follow it, and so it's a version of the dollar actually, since it's pegged to the dollar, and that would make it. But we can't. I don't know. This is above our pay grade to really fully.
I don't think anyone fully understands it, really.
Well, I'm sure somebody does, but it's not us.
Okay. Anyway, so this week we're having dinner with Joe from HealthySurprise.com.
Oh, Joe's in town?
With his girlfriend.
You going to make him a vegetarian dinner?
I don't think so. Mickey found some kale restaurant or something. Ha, ha, ha. I know. Yeah.
It's terrible.
I hope I come back alive. I don't know if I'll make it out.
Won't be feeling very good. I have a couple last-ditch clips here. So I was at the dinner table with Buzzkill Jr. and his wife. And, here's a little twist on her measles. She got that measles shot.
Yeah, and she got the measles, yeah.
Now she's got an arthritic finger they think is from the shot.
She can get, there is a compensation fund for that.
Yeah.
She can sue, and the government, go look at the Federal Register. They're giving out money.
Yeah, I'm going to have to turn them on to this.
But now, which finger is it?
It's a finger on her left hand, like not the ring finger, but the middle finger.
Does she use that one a lot?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Usually the flip-off drivers on the freeway.
Or is it just stuck in the flip-off mode? It's just rigid. Like, hey, that girl's flipping me off. No, man. I got vaccinated.
So we're talking about this, and they at the table, and these two are millennials, hipsters, essentially.
Does Buzzkill have a mustache?
No.
Oh,
that would be funny, though. He doesn't, and he doesn't really dress like a hipster, but they get the hipster.
He's a hipster. Face it.
These things, they have to be in that age group. Talked about this scam that the Wu-Tang Clan are doing. Have you heard about this?
I know the Wu-Tang Clan, but what is this?
Oh, well, here's the background.
I'm not up on the Wu-Tang scam.
This is the Wu-Tang scam. Clip.
Glastonbury in June, so...
All right, Mary. Well, another highly anticipated album is the latest offering from the Wu-Tang Clan, but this is something that not everyone's actually going to have the chance to hear, will they?
Absolutely. It will never be streamed online, and you can't buy it from iTunes, and if you want to pick one up from the shops, you can't do that either. In fact, there will only be one physical copy of the album, and most of us will never get our hands on it because it's going to be locked away in a Moroccan vault, but not forever. The group do plan to tour the album around festivals, museums and galleries, and there you can listen to the new songs, but only on headphones. And once that's said and done, they're going to be auctioning off the album, and they hope to pick up millions for that. But it's not just a gimmick, if that's what you're both thinking. It's a statement as well. The Wu-Tang Clan say they want to elevate music back to the form of high art.
Certainly a different approach, isn't it?
I think that's exactly where their album belongs. Locked up in Morocco.
Yeah. So these two, this is the promotion. I don't know what PR agents or who's behind this promotion. It just seems like desperation to me. And these two are saying, I said, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Who was going to buy this album at an auction for millions of dollars? And the two of them go, yeah, they'll get that for sure. These millennials, this is our, the hipster thing. I was just flabbergasted that anyone would buy into this bull crap. Even if they, they might auction the thing off, and then somebody says they paid $1 million for it or $2 million. And what would be the point? This is the stupidest thing I have ever heard.
I don't know if it's the stupidest thing.
It's pretty stupid. I mean, I like the gimmick. I like that they got all this attention on Van Cat going on and on with all these details with the Morocco and everything else. But come on.
Well, it looks like, they've already had offers.
Yeah, I'll offer him something.
Yeah, but RZA offered him $5 million. RZA, RZA, RZA.
Who's RZA?
RZA is, let's see if they explain in this article who RZA is. Let's see. Was produced. Maybe it is the RZ. I have no idea, John. I was on MTV when Courtney Love was still interesting to look at. I have no idea what's going on here. But here, headline: New Wu-Tang Clan album, the case for the world's first $5 million album. I can see where that's high art. I get the idea. You know, there's no more money in music. There's no money in music.
Where would there be money in one album?
Okay, let's see.
Let's do a show. I'll tell you what. We're going to do a No Agenda show. One No Agenda show.
Oh, now you're talking.
And we're going to put it in the vault.
Yep.
And we're going to auction it off to the highest bidder, and it's never going to be played. It's going to be a special 3-hour No Agenda.
Yeah.
That we're going to do the same deconstruction we always do, but it's not going to be available to anybody except the winner of the auction.
So, and it will not be, it'll be, what are we?
Never aired.
Are we putting it on a thumb drive or on a disc, CD?
We have to come up with some digital copyright.
Why not just put it on magnetic tape?
There's a thought.
Do I?
I have a couple of tape recorders.
Yeah, we can put on a 1/4 inch.
Yeah, 1/4 inch, 4-track.
I think this is a great idea. Okay, so it's going to be 1 3-hour. It's going to be, and it will never be aired. Never
be aired.
And we're going to do an auction. You know what? This may work. You may be very surprised, John.
Yes, I will be very surprised.
You may be very surprised.
I will be. Yeah,
You don't know. I mean, this is maybe they've set a trend here. You're laughing at the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah,
we're going to have to call you. We have to give you a hip hop name.
Oh, that's okay.
All right. When do we do this? Let's do it soon.
I don't know.
Let's do it soon.
Before the Vinegar book comes out, that's for sure.
Why don't we do it right after the show today? You and I are going to continue for another 3 hours.
Another 3 hours. Well, I think we can't do that because then the information won't be as fresh. We're going to have to first figure out how to do it, and then we're going to do one of those extended ones. We'll do extended and auction it.
Okay, but what do you mean how to do it? What does that mean?
In other words, how do we set up the auction? When are we going to do it? There's a number of variables that we have to get out of the way before we sit around for an extra 3 hours.
Okay.
Let's make it 2.5. They don't need to be bored.
Why don't we make this the show where we revisit, 5 or 6 of our main thesi, the thingsi.
Yeah, we do a meta show.
It's a meta
show, not a clip show, but a meta show about the show.
Meta show.
That's meta, and it will reintroduce everything. So whoever gets to buy this thing will be the aficionado of No Agenda. They'll know everything there is to know.
And we'll put in stuff about, I know. I have an idea. I have the idea of all ideas.
Okay.
Why don't we just do a regular show, but we do video, and then we put that in the vault? Everyone wants video? You want it that bad? Here it is.
That's not a bad idea.
Bid on it.
Yeah, we can get ourselves.
I'll do over the shoulder, and I'll do over the shoulder. Both of us have to do over the shoulder, so you can see how I act. You can see how I hit the jingles, how I run everything. Screw it. I'll have someone in here with a handheld camera the whole show, filming everything. Not just some bogative little Skype thing. No. Over the shoulder, you'll see how everything works. You'll see me drinking coffee. You'll see my ticks going. That'd be cool. Right?
All right, I think this is a winner.
And you too, though. But we have to see.
I'll have somebody.
You're on the chaise lounge. Cameras. You're on the chaise lounge.
I'll have 2 cameras and a mixer.
2 cameras. There you go. 2 cameras. All right. It's a 4-camera shoot. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little video switcher. Bing, bing, bing. No problem.
I think that's a winner. I think it's a great
I'll
idea.
use a fader.
You're going to have someone else do that.
Oh, okay. Well, I like to do the
you got to be doing the show with me. The whole point is you're doing the show.
All right. Yeah.
And then, and we'll let everyone know when we're going to do it. And
so you have to clean up my office.
No, John. Yeah. Do you want any value for this thing?
Okay, you're right. No one else is going to see it, so what difference does it make?
It's going to be locked away until it's like until we are equal to the Wu-Tang Clan. And I'm looking at Wu-Tang Clan right now. I'm going to wear the red jacket, and you're going to wear the yellow jacket with those big jeans. That is a great look.
Yeah, especially for me.
And I'll have Miss Mickey here, and she'll be walking in and out
naked.
No, with her Miss Mickey outfit on. Sunday, and I'll throw in pancakes. All right, good.
Now we've decided.
I like it.
I have one last little clip.
Yep.
Which is, I just get a kick out of this every time it happens. This is Amy Goodman telling us without blinking an eye that essentially Obama's a fascist, but, she still vote for him, I'm sure.
Okay.
President Obama has reauthorized the government's bulk collection of phone data for 90 days, despite calling for the practice to end. In a statement, Obama said he'll sign an extension because Congress has yet to approve his proposed reforms. Speaking to NBC's Meet the Press, Democratic Senator Ron Wyden said Obama should end bulk collection on his own.
Well, I believe the president ought to make the transition right away. I believe strongly we ought to ban all dragnet surveillance on law-abiding Americans, not just phone records, but also medical records, purchases, and others.
Under Obama's proposal, phone companies would store the metadata and the government would mine it using individual court orders.
Yeah, and as it turns out, it's that the phone companies will actually be storing more data than ever now.
Yeah, more than ever.
And did you see, of course, the AP came out with that story about, which was a non-Snowden related story, about the USAID, State Department essentially funding the bogative Cuba Twitter. And did you see,
I saw that. It's hilarious.
But did you see, you probably missed it, there's that $250 million WordPress blog called the Intercept? You ever see that?
The Intercept.
Yes. Grant Greenwald. So Grant Greenwald.
Oh, yeah. I saw that when it first came out. For some reason, I haven't ever revisited it.
So Grant Greenwald, here's what happens. So this comes out from the AP, Associated Press. This is a monster story. I tell you. Hey, Grant. It's Pierre.
Yeah.
What up, man? What's up? How come we didn't have that story? Didn't Snowden? Don't we? I put $250 million into this WordPress blog of yours. How come we don't have that story, Gren?
Yeah,
exactly, Gren.
Drinking.
So he comes out with this long, drawn-out thing, and it's like, yeah, we knew this. Yeah, look, here's some data. Here's a PowerPoint slide that shows that we knew this was happening. It's really pathetic. You got to read this stuff, John. You got to keep up with these guys because they're looking pathetic. It was pretty funny.
Okay, I'll start reading it again.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty funny, at least. Oh, and ladies and gentlemen, little No Agenda technology news for you. Brand new on the scene, the Amazon Dash. Have you seen the Amazon Dash?
No.
The Amazon Dash is it's a little device that kind of, you hang it in the kitchen somewhere. And it's like a key.
It's got a microphone on it?
Yeah.
It says bug yourself.
Yeah, it has. So the idea is you can scan items at home when you need something, and it orders it for you. Or you just, simply say it or scan it. So you just say, hey, you press the button, you go, hey, I need dog food. Ladies and gentlemen, do not bring this device into your home. It is a spy device. Do not bring this into your home. I'm telling you.
People voluntarily spy on themselves for the behalf of the government. Do
not bring this into your house. And the scanner is a camera. It's a camera. It's a camera.
Yeah, it's probably scanning constantly.
Yeah. Do not bring this into your house, people. Just a little tip from the No Agenda Show. All right. Yeah. I have one last clip.
Okay.
There's a new book out. About the Boston bombing, written by the people from the good folks there at the Boston Globe, I guess, the Globe. Yeah. And so they're kind of doing the rounds. What's the name of this book? The Long Mile Home, Boston Under Attack, the City's Courageous Recovery, and the Epic Hunt for Justice. And this and of course this comes out, less than a year before the anniversary. There's only one review so far. This is not only a book you stay up late reading, it answers the questions you might have about the bombing, and the background conveys some of the flavor, qualities, and attitudes of Boston and Bostonians. For me, it ranks up there with Helter Skelter as a narrative of a horrible crime. Yeah, no, that's not a plant. So they're out doing the rounds, and they show up on Al Jazeera.
Now, as I said, there's a new Harvard report out that is praising the response that the city had to the bombing. It said that the city was, quote, unusually well prepared for the attacks. And you also say in the book that in a serendipitous way, if there had to be a terrorist attack somewhere in the U.S., the finish line on Boylston Street, with the medical tent already in place and 6 of the top hospitals anywhere within a mile or two, was the best place it could happen.
Now, before we continue,
give me a break.
So we kind of came up with the thesis that this was part of our 6-week cycles theory.
Yes, because it came right on the 6-week cycle.
Came right on the 6-week cycle. It involved the FBI. Not just the FBI.
Everything keeps pointing to this being something of a scam gone bad.
Yeah, a botched scam.
Yeah,
exactly. And there probably were some crisis actors there. Some people got really hurt. And maybe some really got killed.
The bomb went off.
Because the bombs actually went off. They were not supposed to go off. There were drills before. Everything was all set up. They're even admitting it now.
Hard to look at it that way, but true.
It really is true. The finish line of the marathon, within a mile or two of that location, you have a half dozen of these hospitals that are
the best in the world,
so well equipped to handle the situation. You also have, because of the marathon itself, you have a massive medical operation that's set up right there to deal with potential problems that runners could deal with. So you have tons of volunteers on hand, doctors and nurses who are there. So people were really, I think, kind of stunned. As awful as it is to have 3 people die, it could have been so many more had you not had these kind of resources in place.
No, it's incredible when you look at these images that we're showing again, that the results were as good as they were, despite the deaths and these terrible injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been a lot more efficient to bomb the Jeep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go down under the ground there, get one of those stupid. They got some crazy looking things running underground there.
I have a. You got to wonder. You got to wonder if the Boston Strong T-shirts and hats weren't already all printed up.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have trouble. Yeah.
No, there's no way to prove it. No way to prove it.
No.
No way to prove it. But.
That book sounds like something that's just not going to get us anywhere.
It doesn't sound like something I'm actually interested in reading. I'm reading 4 books now. It's nuts. I'm still reading the Gates book, which is kind of dry and boring. I don't think I'll be able to finish that. I kind of got steered away after 80 pages of the Flash Boys. Our banker buddy said it's not even the real story.
Yeah, the story apparently is not this story.
Yeah, so I just don't really have it. It's just really not, it's not good.
Well, there's another book here. I got a clip here from this woman, kind of a boring person, but she makes some interesting points. She talks too long. And it's kind of, these clips are horrible, but blah, 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 Afghanistan won.
Okay.
Author of the new book, The Wrong Enemy, America in Afghanistan 2001 to 2014. She joins me now. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, so why the title, The Wrong Enemy? Who's the right enemy?
This is why I wrote the book, because we've been fighting a war for 10 years more that I covered it in the Afghan villages, against the Afghan people, and against the Taliban, obviously. And I came to realize that the Taliban is supported by the neighboring country, Pakistan, and really more than just supported. Iran, strategically pushed in to get leverage over Afghanistan, to have control and have a proxy army there for Pakistan's benefit. And I saw so much over the years that I felt I had to write it and lay it out and show that all the effort of the West and America was concentrated on fighting in the villages in Afghanistan, when really the source of the problem was over the border in Pakistan.
All right, so give us some examples of that. You go into painstaking detail on how the ISI, the intelligence services of Pakistan, had essentially supported the Taliban in Afghanistan while the U.S. were trying to fight them.
Yeah, and pretending to be an ally. So you had President Musharraf in Pakistan saying he was an ally in the war on terror. But in fact, I uncovered things that he was doing, aiding and abetting the Taliban at first, organizing a meeting right after, in 2001, right after the fall of the Taliban, to how to regroup them.
John, what is she saying?
She just says that this whole Afghani war is corrupt. But it's a book idea for you to read. You want to get into another boring book? It probably reads like she talks.
You know what? I think we better get out while we're on this low. What do you think?
Yeah, all I have left is Chad.
Oh, no, forget about it. I have 30 seconds of Nancy Pelosi talking about forget about it. Screw her. Forget it. I'm not interested.
All right,
anymore.
but keep Nancy Pelosi in abeyance for the possibility on the Thursday show.
Okay.
Because I always enjoy listening to her.
I clipped it this morning early, so. All right, everybody. Well, I'm very excited about our Wu-Tang agenda. 4 cameras, over-the-shoulder video, not to be seen by anybody ever except for one lucky person in our Wu-Tang auction.
There you have it.
That's right.
That's the future.
All right, so I'm going to get to... Yeah, I'm going to... Yeah. Hey, don't knock it, my brother. You never know. Someone out there might really, really want it. One thing's for sure, it'll be the only time we do video. I guarantee you that. And I am here in Gitmo Nation proper, capital of the Drone Star State, FEMA Region 6. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, I'm John C. Dvorak.
We'll be back on Thursday, right here, on No Agenda.
I'm Joe Biden, and thank you for taking the time to listen.
Hillary! The best podcast in the universe. Dvorak.org/NA